Back in St. Louis, Sam Rosen, Bill Maas, and we're joined by Pete Peterson, who's down on the sidelines. Pete, what do you got?
Well, Sam, the Saints will be without running back Ricky Williams today. He suffered a turf toe injury last week against Jacksonville, but Coach Mike Ditka tells me that just within the last couple of days, that injury has been dramatically improved. In fact, Ricky was out on the turf here at the Trans World Dome this morning trying to get a feel for it. He wanted to go today. Coach Ditka said he's going to do the prudent thing. He's going to keep him off the rug here at the Dome. We'll probably see him next week against Atlanta. Sam?
Thanks very much, Pete. The Rams won the coin toss. They've elected to receive. That's Doug Bryan teeing it up for the New Orleans Saints. The Rams have won 6 in a row at home. 5 this season, 1 last season. The Saints have lost 10 straight road games, carrying back to last season. Doug Bryan boots it away. Coming down to Tony Horn at the 7. Horn breaks through the hole. Bryan missed him. They chase him down and take him out of bounds at the Saints' 30-yard line. Great return by Tony Horn. The 49ers kept it away from him last week, and you can see what happened when the Saints kicked to him this week.
Well, this is a wedge return. Here's the middle of the wedge right here. And then there's Fletcher, 59, behind the wedge. Watch him follow Fletcher through the hole, and he stays with him. And then Fletcher gets a piece of the kicker, and that springs it. They tried about last week. Frank Gann said, you know what? If we had him back, we could have broke some there. Had they kicked to us, we had it set up. They believe wholeheartedly in Tony Horn and his ability to return kickoff.
63-yard return for Tony Horn and the Rams from the 30. The pump fake by Warner, wants to go deep and get it all, and it is incomplete. Broken up by Ashley Ambrose as he covered Isaac Bruce. That'll be a matchup we'll see a lot of in this game.
They're going to keep Ashley Ambrose for their best cover guy on Isaac Bruce. You see, Ambrose came over just to let see him turn around here, and he turns around and comes over just in time to bat that ball away. You know, Mike Martz, the offensive coordinator for the Rams, he wastes no time. He's not a guy that's going to feel things out. He likes to open it up and just keep pitching and pitching and pitching the balls down there. And why not when you have the receiving tandem that they have?
Rams shifting with Faulk and Holcombe in the backfield. Faulk right up the middle, gets about 5 down to the 25-yard line. Leroy Glover made the tackle. We'll check out the Rams offense. Kurt Warner, he's been the savior. He leads the NFL with 27 touchdown passes, only 7 interceptions thrown. The line, the big tackles, Orlando Pace and Fred Miller. Grudadori in the middle. Timmerman and Newton are the guards. Marshall Faulk, Robert Holcombe in the backfield. Torrey Holt has been a fine addition, and of course Isaac Bruce is the number 3 receiver in the NFC.
Empty backfield. Look, nobody back here.
Warner on 3rd and 5. He completes to Torrey Holt. Touchdown.
Watch the cord. These guys are having fun.
First, let's check that. That's the 3rd touchdown of the season for Torrey Holt.
Here's Torrey Holt outside wide, 88. We might have a flag on the field.
There is. It's on Rob Kelly. The penalty against New Orleans. Torrey Holt quickly. The Rams strike 1 minute 2 seconds into the game. They grab the lead. And that is the 6th time this season in their first possession the Rams have scored a touchdown. Jeff Wilkins boots it through. The Rams with a fast start. The great return by Tony Horn. The touchdown pass. 28th touchdown pass thrown by Kurt Warner. He connects with Torrey Holt. 25-yard touchdown pass from Kurt Warner to Torrey Holt. Officially, the Tony Horn kickoff return was 64 yards. Rams, Jeff Wilkins kicks off. Dino Fillion at the 3. Tries to take it outside, and he's brought down just across the 20-yard line. James Hodgins, the running back, took him down.
Take a look back at this touchdown. I said empty backfield. Here's Faulk. Now, Faulk's going to come up like this. Now, watch Weary. Weary jumps it underneath instead of staying in his zone. Backer should have taken him right here. He jumps it, and there's Holt down in the corner. Watch him just get his foot inside the pylon.
The Saints come out with 3 wide receivers, and the Rams answer with 5 defensive backs. As Andre Hastings in motion. Lamar Smith is the lone setback. Off the play fake, Billy Joe Hobert going deep, way down the field for Keith Poole, and it's broken up. Incomplete with Devin Bush covering on the play. Devin Bush, who made his first start of the season last week at free safety, makes this play.
Well, they just peel him off here to the side. And this is good coverage because when they get the matchup one-on-one, they're going to chuck it downfield. Hobert's going to take that shot. They had 2 receivers over to the other side of the field that created the matchup on the backside weak, one-on-one. And all quarterbacks like to create that kind of matchup. You're going to take a shot. You're either going to come up with a pass or pass interference.
Stick with 3 wides. The toss to Lamar Smith. Picks up a good block. He's hit by Billy Jenkins, takes him down around the 28-yard line. Let's check out the Saints on offense. Billy Joe Hobert has only started and finished 2 games this season. Tom Ackerman has taken over for Wally Williams at left guard. Willie Roaf has a big job ahead of him today. Lamar Smith replacing Ricky Williams as the starting running back. Eddie Kennison making his first return to St. Louis. There's Ricky Williams missing his first game this season. Eddie Kennison back in St. Louis. The run up the middle is stopped short of a first down. Good defensive series by the Rams, who are best in the NFL against the rush.
And watch how they do it too, Sam. See, you try to create this matchup and get 5 or 6 in the box. You should be able to run against 5 or 6 in the box. They did. Grant Winstrom closes down. See who's here? You ought to be able to run against them. Watch Winstrom close down the backside, flatten down the line of scrimmage. This kid plays with a big-time motor. He's all over the football field.
Tommy Barnhart to punt. And the kick is away. Oz Hakeem is deep. He's got it at about the 23. Hakeem spins, and then he's buried at the 30-yard line. So the Rams show offense and defense and go on offense for the second time right after this.
You want to take a look at why the Rams have been so successful this year? Here's the difference. 98, they were outscored in the first quarter. You can see it right here. And then look at 99. They're outscoring their opponents 92-37. Haven't turned the ball over nearly half as much. And that's been the key. They're jumping out early and they're staying on top.
Rams, 2 tight ends, 2 wides, lone setback. Over the middle of Isaac Bruce, slipped at man. Falls forward to about the 43. It's a first down for the Rams. Keith Mitchell covered him. Isaac Bruce, 3rd in the NFL, in the NFC, in receptions this season.
You know, one way they've been able to keep Isaac Bruce healthy is because they don't just send him vertical all the time now. There's a little crossing route underneath. Here's a zone back here. He just sits down inside on a crossing route. You know, over the years, they've had to rely so much on Isaac Bruce. It was always send him vertical, send him vertical, send him vertical. You know, all those 40-yard dashes, and he always had the hamstring problem. They've really taken care of that problem this year from training camp all the way through games.
Warner checking off, 3 wide receivers in. Outside to Torrey Holton, out of bounds up the 48. Short pickup, about 4 on the play. Fred Weary chased him out of bounds. Let's check out the Saints on defense. The front 4 is active, but they've got a tough job ahead of them. Brady Smith's got a big matchup with Orlando Pace. The linebackers are banged up. Fields and Bordano are playing hurt. And the secondary, Sammy Knight says he's looking for interceptions. He hasn't had a pick all season long. Ambrose and Bruce will be a big matchup. Marshall Faulk up the middle across midfield. Gets about 4 on the play. Willie Clay brings him down at about the 48-yard line. Bring up about a 3rd and 2 for the Rams.
You know, Sam, a lot of people have always said Isaac Bruce, he's just a guy that wants to catch passes and what? He's a power runner when he needs to be. Although he doesn't have all the size in the world, I want you to watch him come through right up the middle. Faulk will just drill people. And he just lowers his head and just drills right through people. Everyone wants to talk about Faulk and say he's this or isn't that. He's not a power guy. He can't get you to tough yards. He can be a power running back when need be.
Here's 3rd and 2. Short drop. Warner fakes. His receiver had fallen down. He wanted to go to Isaac Bruce. Bruce fell down.
Oh, hey, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that.
Oh, yeah. The slash is out. They sent the memo around this week. That's Willie Whitehead making his first NFL start.
Here's Whitehead up here, and he got the start because he had 2 sacks last week against San Francisco. When Jared Tomich got hurt, they say, okay, we're going to go with him. Whitehead, there's the sack on, and then there's the slash.
Ooh, Willie, watch out.
And there's the punt.
And it's being returned by Eddie Kennison, the former Ram. Flag goes down. Kennison out of bounds around the 27-yard line. We'll check out the flag. I believe it's going to be against New Orleans. 43-yard punt by Mike Horan. Our referee is Bill Carollo in his 11th year in the NFL. He's a marketing executive.
You know, you have to credit New Orleans for getting to 3rd down there. Last week against Jacksonville, they only got Jacksonville to 3rd down 4 times in the game.
Personal foul, face mask, number 59 on the kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the run, 1st down.
My apologies. It's against the Rams, so the Saints get 15 yards because of the penalty. Well, remember 1997? That's when Mike Ditka and Dick Vermeil both came out of retirement to return to coaching in the NFL. And they met up here, and it was a big day for the Rams. Lawrence Phillips rushed for 3 touchdowns in that game. The Rams beat the Saints 38-24. Rams won both meetings that year. Saints won both meetings between these 2 teams this year. And Dick Vermeil, after a 4-12 season last year, has turned it around. Saints from the 42. Troy Davis gets up to the 45-yard line. Charlie Clemens, number 56, made the stop. Clemens in replacing London Fletcher, who was called on that face mask penalty. Here's the Rams starting defense. Kevin Carter leading the NFL in sacks with 11.5, 7.5 in the last 3 games. London Fletcher, great story, the regular starting middle linebacker. Dexter McLeon, Devin Bush, who hadn't started a game till last week, has moved back from strong safety to free safety. Here's Lamar Smith. Takes it upfield, and a hard run by Lamar Smith. He's hit by Billy Jenkins, lowered his shoulder. Finally, Devin Bush brought him down at about the 48-yard line of the Rams.
You know, Lamar Smith obviously hasn't got the ball many carries this year because of Ricky Williams. But he's a guy he's a physical running back. As a matter of fact, Dick Vermeil was telling us, you know, they looked at him in the offseason as well as guys, you know, they wanted to bring in to upgrade their own running back position. He's a tough runner in his own right. He runs inside well. He runs with his body, a nice lean to his body, and he's got the power when he needs to have it.
Got enough for a 1st down. Saints and Rams territory. Billy Joe Hobert sends everybody out. Looking and throws it away. There's nobody in the vicinity. He threw it way over the head of Troy Davis. Billy Joe Hobert has made 1 start in the last 6 weeks. That was against Cleveland, but he got knocked out of that game early. Billy Joe Tolliver had been playing very well the last couple of weeks, but there's Billy Joe Tolliver out with a knee injury.
Yeah, see, this is Billy Joe knee, see? And then there's Billy Joe neck is on the field. That's how you have to tell him. Billy Joe knee, and then here's Billy Joe neck. He's back here. But he has been throwing the whole entire time he's been out. He hasn't missed any throwing during the course of his injury.
Hobert chased by Carter. Got away and completes it to Eddie Kennison, the leading receiver of the Saints. is wrestled down at the 40-yard line by Taji Allen. There's a flag down on the far side. Ineligible man downfield against the Saints will negate the good pickup.
Ineligible player on the passing team, number 62, illegally downfield. 5-yard penalty, replay, second down.
It's Jerry Fontenot, the center.
Well, you know, watch it on the scramble sometimes, the center or any lineman, they'll look back, they'll glance back, and they'll see their quarterback starting to scramble. Oh, this is a screen.
Yeah.
The screen. They're setting up their screen on the backside. And the rush got there by Carter too soon, and they're downfield blocking.
2nd and 15, back at the Saints 47. Lamar Smith, the lone setback. The play fake by Hobert, again over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Andre Hastings. The Saints have gone to a lot of 3 wide receivers out of necessity, Bill. They've changed the offense.
Well, for a couple reasons. One, I think it took them too long to realize that the power run game and the play action pass really wasn't working for them. It took them about half the season to realize that. And also, they had a lot of injuries at tight end. So they had to go to 3 wide receivers and 2 backs. You'll see a lot of those sets. And what it's doing is it's opening up the offense more. They're throwing the ball outside more. They're doing some different things. They're inviting nickel onto the field. And then they play the numbers game with who's in the box. Is there 6 in the box? We'll run. Is there 5 in the box?
4 wide receivers for New Orleans, 6 defensive backs for the Rams. And the pass is complete to the 35-yard line. A first down for the Saints to Andre Hastings. Good throw by Billy Joe Hobert.
And nice time, too. Billy Joe had some protection up front. Could sit downfield and buy his receivers time to get downfield. Anytime the quarterback has time to sit in the pocket and make a decision and the receivers get to finish their route, you have a chance for the play to succeed. That always hasn't been the case for New Orleans.
Pickup of 18 on the play. The big question with Billy Joe Hobert is, can he hold up? Only finished 2 games that he started this season. 4 wide receivers for the Saints. Again, the toss, Lamar Smith. Short pickup down to the 33-yard line where Mike Jones took him down. There's Mike Jones, who's had interception returns for touchdowns in the last 2 games. A former running back
at Missouri. Yeah, and his teammates all give him grief. They don't believe he was ever a running back.
They want to see tape.
Yeah, well, they got to see tape in the last 2 weeks because he showed some of those running skills when he got the ball in his hand.
They called them stone hands. I mean, what's that all about? Come on. Billy Joe Hobert resetting. 3 wide receivers in. Scott Slutzker, the tight end, in motion. Hobert being rushed, got rid of it. For Slutzker, it's incomplete. Big rush on the outside by Mike Jones, the man we were just talking about.
As I was saying before, they don't always have that time up front. I want you to watch the pressure come. Here's Light off the corner, and here's Jones. They're going to come. Here's Jones off of this corner. Look at the pressure up front, and there's Light off the other corner. He was in the slot position, number 41. He came in, and that's just too many from the outside, and Hobert's just running back, and he had to get rid of the ball.
8th play of this drive. Billy Joe Hobert just 1 for 5. Saints have to get to the 25-yard line for a first down. And it's getting loud here in the dome.
Look at this little cluster down here of receivers.
Pressure from Kevin Carter, and he threw it away. Kevin Carter, whose goal is to lead the NFL in sacks. He says if he does that, they won't forget him when it comes to the Pro Bowl.
Well, he's there. He gets there first. He looks a little dinged on the play as well. But watch the whole line just cave. It closes all the way around Hobert. Here's Carter working past Kyle Turley. But look at everybody's there. Ray Agnew's there. And there's a big pile at the quarterback. I mean, I think he got dinged a little bit. There's Carter.
Kevin Carter shaking up on the play. Meanwhile, the Saints will attempt a 51-yard field goal attempt. Doug Bryan's long is 52 out of the hold of Tommy Barnhart. The kick is got the distance, and it's good. A beauty by Doug Bryan. 51 yards. Saints are on the board. It's a 7-3 game. Mike Ditka pacing the sidelines. The Saints undermanned, banged up, come through. Now a low kickoff this time.
They learn.
Yeah, taken by Tony Horn again. Follows a blocker. Flags fly as he is pulled down at the 33-yard line. There are 3 flags down on the field. And we'll check out what happened. One call will be a holding. And it'll be against the Rams. So the Rams, normally a very good disciplined team, have now taken 2 penalties on specials.
And that's where actually they only had
Holding.
4.
57 on the kick return team during the run back. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Leonard Little, the linebacker, called for the hold.
They had the least penalties in the NFL on special teams coming into this game. And now they start off, they have 2 already. Well, they have 6. It was 6. I think that's 2 today.
Yeah.
See, our guys are quick downstairs. It was 4 and then 2 today.
It's called up to the second stats.
They got
we
it
have
too.
the Fox ticker. We have our guys working on this up to the second stuff.
You know, sometimes I just don't give them enough credit. I mean, that happened quick bang. There was a flag, and our mathematicians downstairs were adding. They had to use their toes and their feet, but they did a good job.
Rams start from the 16. The toss to Faulk. Mark Fields hit him first. Falls forward to about the 18-yard line. Mark Fields has been playing with bad pain in the lower back.
Yeah, he's got that bulging disc. I talked to him before the game, and he said, you know, he took some time off, and they took the steroid shot to shrink the swelling in there. And he said, well, they told you that you need rest, and you don't need any physical contact. And he goes, that's impossible in this business.
Get him an office job.
He's feeling better. He is feeling better.
Ball spotted at the 19. Isaac Bruce goes in motion. Warner throwing behind Isaac Bruce. Let's get an update downstairs on Kevin Carter. Let's go to the sideline to Pete Peterson.
Well, guys, you saw Kevin Carter came off in a heck of a lot of pain. Turns out he just suffered a stinger. Tells me he's going to be fine. Banged up a lot. Also lost a contact. So he's got his eyes and his shoulders back. We'll see him back in.
All right. Big man having a great season. Thanks, Pete, for the report.
You know what? You know what I like about him, though? He came all the way off the field with that stinger going on and didn't lay down until he got over here on the sidelines. And those stingers, you see a lot of guys rolling around, flopping out on the field when they get a stinger. I like that.
4 wide receivers in for the Rams on 3rd down. They've got to get to the 27. Warner under pressure completes it to Oz Hakeem, but short of a first down. Up to the 24-yard line, Gerard Cherry on the coverage. And a good defensive series for the New Orleans Saints.
2 good defensive series by the Saints. So one prior, too. Xavier Alien's doing some things that are just a little bit different. He's stunting the guys inside. They're coming in. They're looping. They're causing pressure in the middle of the pocket. See the stunts and blitzes off the corner? I mean, that, you have to be able to mix it up against St. Louis. Come at them, create disruption in their passing game and the timing of it.
Mike Horan boots it away. Good high kick. Fair catch waved for by Eddie Kennison at the 34. He drops the ball. He dives and he recovers it. At the 30. That was a terrific punt from Mike Horan. Hang time of 4.9 seconds. 42-yard punt. And then the muff by Eddie Kennison. But he was able to recover. Saints on offense when we come back.
Xavier Alien, the defensive coordinator, working his troops. You know, we talked about him not sleeping during the week.
Yeah.
I mean, this would drive a guy crazy trying to slow down this offense because it's so balanced and they do so many things, mixing and matching personnel, shifting in motion, changing the strength. And he's got his work cut out. He's got to stay on top of these guys, and he's got to mix and match as well with them.
3 wide receivers for the Saints. Cam Cleland is in as the right tight end. He goes down the field on first down. Hobert in trouble. The pass was caught by Eddie Kennison, and he was brought down immediately by Taji Allen. Rams had 5 defensive backs in there. Now, London Fletcher has not been in since he got the penalty, the face mask penalty on the special teams coverage.
You know, that's settling a fiery guy down. He's a special teams player. That's what he was last year. Their leading special teams player. And he still plays all but one special teams unit now. And he takes that onto the field with them with that aggressiveness, and they're trying to settle him down some.
On second down, blitz coming. The pass is complete to Andre Hastings up to the 40-yard line and very close to a first down. Let's see where the spot is. I think he may have to measure on this one. It's very close.
Well, that was a hot route off the blitz. The linebacker comes. Watch the linebacker come. Times it perfect back. Now watch the adjustment on Hastings, settling right down where the linebacker was. Adjusting inside when the blitz comes. That's the hot route. That was a nice read by the receiver Hastings and also by Hobert.
Here come the chains. I think this is going to be about
a smidgen,
an inch short, maybe a smidge. A little more than an inch, maybe two
smidgens.
That's it. All right, but it's third down for the Saints.
When we're talking about the hot receiver, you're talking about this man right here. The blitz comes and he adjusts. That's it. And that's a read by the receivers. When they see the linebacker or the slot nickel defender disappear inside on a blitz, they adjust their route inside. The quarterback knows exactly where he's going to be, right where the blitz came from.
Jeff Sconina's in for DeMarco Farr. It's third and 2 smidgens. Hastings in motion, quarterback sneak, and Billy Joe Hobert looked like he got enough as he fell forward for the first down.
Well, if you've got 2 smidgens to go, you don't want to go here. You want to go here where the bubble is. See the 2 defensive linemen, they're in tight. Go here. Pick up your smidgens.
And that's where he went. First down for New Orleans. London Fletcher is now back in at middle linebacker for the Rams. Off the play fake, Hobert steps up, wanted to go deep, and he's brought down on the sack. DeMarco Farr got him. The Rams, 20 sacks in the last 3 games. Add to that as DeMarco Farr got him.
Well, the majority of them come from Farr, too. And watch it. He never stops. He gets upfield on the swim, and then he comes back underneath. And see that? When you get to the level of the quarterback, retrace your steps, come back underneath because they're taught to step up in the pocket. That's exactly what he did. He got up to the level of the quarterback, then spun back underneath, and there he was. Sugar.
Loss of a yard on the play brings up 2nd and 11. 6th sack of the season for DeMarco Farr. Hobert under pressure again. Tries to find Hastings. Great catch. Andre Hastings was hit by Taji Allen just as the ball arrived, and a terrific job by Andre Hastings.
I don't know who got hit harder, Hobert or Hastings. Hobert got smacked as he threw this ball. Pressure comes quick inside. They run a little stunt. Here comes Farr on the corner. He gets smacked, and then downfield, Hastings, there was blue shirts all around him. How he came out of there with that ball, I don't know.
29-yard pickup for the Saints. Kevin Carter has come off again. Looks like he's hurting a little bit. Jay Williams, number 96, has replaced him. Saints at the Rams 31. There's a flag goes down, delay of the game.
Delay, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, between Hasty, not sure of the shot he took, and Hobert laying on the ground back there, getting back up the field 30 yards to the huddle, the play coming in from the sidelines, the clock ran down on him. And those are the mistakes that New Orleans can't afford to make. Not when you're playing against the best team in the conference and you're marching on them.
Great start to the game for Andre Hastings. That is Danny Abramowitz, the offensive coordinator. He's upstairs. 1st and 15 at the Rams 36, with the Rams leading 7-3. Lamar Smith, the lone setback. Hobert in trouble. They got him again. And it's DeMarco Farr again. 2nd sack of the game for him, his 7th of the season.
He gets matched up over top here. He's working against Ackerman 69. That's where Wally Williams used to be. He just takes the shoulder on Ackerman. Right by him, right through the outside shoulder. And Smith steps up there. You got to help your guys out. you're right there. Get a little chip block on him.
Fifth start of the season for Tom Ackerman in place of the injured Wally Williams. 20 sacks in the last 3 games coming into this one. They've got 2 today, both by DeMarco Farr. From the 45 to Eddie Kennison. Kennison is hit by Taji Allen and brought down at the 36-yard line.
That defensive line up front for the Rams is something else. They're an active group. They're not real big in stature or size. These are the numbers coming in today. Carter has a sack, Farr has 2 sacks, and they're competitive in there. They really all just compete against each other for sacks.
Defensive line coach Carl Hairston has done a fine job with his group. As a team, they were 3rd in the NFL coming in with 36. Over the middle of Hastings, who breaks a tackle, gets inside the 25, but he's short of a first down. 4th reception of the game for Andre Hastings.
But at least that gets him back into field goal territory. And here comes the field goal team on. And for the New Orleans Saints, 2 drives, if they can score off this, even 2 field goals, I mean, that's encouraging. You're making a statement to the Rams. You move the ball on their defense.
That's the end of the first quarter.
We've come to the end of the first quarter. Doug Bryan will have to wait to attempt his field goal try. It's the Rams 7 and the Saints 3. Sam Rosen, Bill Maas, Pete Peterson in the Dome in St. Louis, where the Rams, once again, this is the 10th time in 11 games this season they've had the lead at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, but New Orleans has been controlling the time of possession. And I think that's what they need to do throughout the game. Keep that offense of the Rams on the sidelines.
Doug Bryan, 42-yard field goal attempt. He hit from 51 earlier. This one on the way has the distance and is good. Doug Bryan is 2 for 2. Mike Ditka has done a good job calling the offense. He and Danny Abramowitz put together the offensive game plan, and the Saints are in this one. Later today, Fox Sports proudly presents Olympic and world champion athletes in the most dynamic head-to-head competition of the season. Rivals become teammates in the Grand Slam of Skating Pros Super Teams Challenge. First round is coming up following football. Check your local listings. Packed house here at the Dome, and what the Rams want is to get home field and make sure the playoffs come through St. Louis, because they feel it'll be to their advantage with the big crowd noise here.
Well, Dick Vermeil's done a lot of studying of the playoff teams, and he realizes what it takes and the things that they all have in common, the teams that go to the Super Bowl. And one is you have that bye, and 2, you play at home. And you get a home field advantage, especially a young team, which he has here. They're enjoying some success now, but let's set the table for us. Get the home field advantage through the playoffs, and your chances really increase to go to the big one.
And the Rams riding a 6-game home field winning streak, 5-0 this season. In the division, they're 5-0 after going 0-8 in the division last season.
That's the thing, and they've turned this completely around.
Doug Bryan to kick off. Tony Horn, he had the big return 64 yards earlier. Looking for an opening, sprints outside. Here he goes again. And he's bumped out of bounds up around the 45-yard line. Sammy Knight was the man who took him out. 42-yard return.
Well, I think London Fletcher wants to get back in the game, because watch this wedge and watch Fletch here, and this is what sets the whole thing up. Look at that dominating. There's Fletch got the seal block, and then it's outside. Fletch trying to make up for that penalty he had earlier that put him to the sidelines, trying to regain that status. It put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
106 yards in returns already today.
They should have gone back to the squib. What happened to the squib kick?
In motion, Isaac Bruce from the 45. Marshall Faulk. Good play by Leroy Glover.
He's one bright spot for New Orleans. You look at the play of Glover and the way he presents himself every single down of every game he ever plays. Leroy Glover is active. He never stops. He finds ways. It's accountability factor. You know, there's a time that you've got to assume responsibility and be accountable for making something happen. He does. He finds a way to make something happen.
4 wide receivers for the Rams, 6 defensive backs. And it's a run. Flag on the play as Faulk gets across midfield down to the Saints 47. But then the penalty is against the Saints. They were offside on the play, so we'll check it out. See what the Rams want to do. It will either be, I would say they'd probably take it. Let's see.
Offside, 30. Lined up in the neutral zone. On the defense, 5-yard penalty. Remains first down. Correction, second down.
They take the 5. They'll spot it at midfield. It'll be 2nd and 5 instead of 3rd and 3.
St. Louis, 2nd and 5.
You look at the Rams' offensive rankings
downs.
right there. Yeah, and this is where they're key. 48% conversion rate on 3rd down. And I think that's attributed to their quarterback.
Roland Williams in motion. Warner's pass is deflected, almost intercepted. Just missed by Austin Robbins, number 95, as he dove for it.
If you're watching in New Orleans, they're coming with a bunch of different things. Here's a 3-down lineman package, but watch what they do off of this. They bring the backers and they loop guys around. They're coming from all different directions, trying to cause indecision amongst the offensive line for the Rams. And I think if the Rams do have a weakness, that's where it's at. It's in their offensive line. You want to get these guys moving. You want to run stunts at them, blitzes, do things to make them think about where protection's going to be, and I think they stumble there.
Have to get to the 45 for a first down. Oz Hakeem in motion. Everybody out, the blitz on, they got him. Keith Mitchell firing through, 2nd sack of the game for the Saints. Again, another outstanding defensive series.
And another outstanding defensive call. Because watch, they shift down to the bare front. Watch it. He comes down over here. They're going to shift down. And this is the indecision factor. And here comes the blitz. They don't pick up Mitchell.
Mike Horan is back to punt. His 3rd. Eddie Kennison is deep for the Saints. The kick is high. Kennison on the fair catch at the 20-yard line. Early in the 2nd quarter, Kurt Warner wants to check upstairs to see what's going on.
They better.
Boy, the arch is beautiful. The defensive guys.
That's John Bunning. There's Peter Junta. Bunning's the front guy. He handles all the stuff up front, and Junta handles everything in the secondary. Together, they make it work.
The reverse, Eddie Kennison. He's got a hole. He picks up a block, and he's out of bounds up at the 34-yard line. They always come with some kind of gadget play, and this one, the reverse.
Well, this is the reverse, and watch who's leading. You said he got a block. He did get a block, and he got it from his quarterback, Hobert. Billy Joe Neck stuck his neck out on this. Here's a toss, then here's reverse, and watch Hobert. Watch him get a little clip and bank. Just knocks it off there.
15-yard pickup for Eddie Kennison. Saints come in with 2 tight ends up the 35-yard line. Slutzker, one of the tight ends, shifting, goes back. Hobert completes it to Kennison across the 40. First return by Eddie Kennison to St. Louis. He had his best year in the NFL, his rookie season. And first time back since signing with the Saints.
He had his best year here, right here as a Ram. And March was the wide receiver coach there. Mike March, who's the offensive coordinator now. And when Kennison found out March was coming, he knew that that receiving core and Isaac Bruce would be productive again.
3 years with the Rams. DeMarco Farr is limped to the sideline. Lamar Smith picks up a couple. Bring up a 3rd and short. Jeff Sconina, who replaced DeMarco Farr, made the tackle. Looked to me as if DeMarco Farr was holding his groin as he limped off. Now he's stretching here.
And Grant Wistrom's out too. Wistrom's on the sideline as well. Jay Williams is in there at end.
Ball to 42. There's Wistrom. So 2 starters on the line have gone to the sideline. 3 wideouts in for the Saints on 3rd and 3. Hobert throws short. Lamar Smith. He's got a first down, a lot more. Smith is finally brought down at the Rams' 32-yard line by Billy Jenkins. Pickup of 26 on the play.
Watch Smith come out of the backfield here. This is a nice job of Hobert in this offense. Here comes Smith. Just steps out and underneath. Beats the linebacker. That's Jones. He steps in front of it. And then look at him downfield, make the adjustments, and find his wide receivers blocking for him.
And the Rams changing on defense. Taji Allen just limped off. It's a first down, Saints at the 32. Everybody out. Hobert throws to the sideline, incomplete. Intended for Troy Davis, the running back. And Hobert a little upset with himself.
And you know what New Orleans is doing is they're countering back, doing what the Rams do. They're spreading the ball all over the place. They're mixing a reverse. They hit the middle real quick. Then they dump the ball to the back. They throw it outside. Creative routes opening up their offense and spreading out St. Louis's defense. Defensively, they're playing on their heels. The Rams are playing on their heels. They don't know what's coming next.
Saints, two wide receivers go left. They've got Marvin Powell in at fullback. Lamar Smith takes it inside and picks up a couple on the play down to the 31-yard line. London Fletcher, the middle linebacker, made the stop.
And he earned his way back on the field. It was that block. The block got him back out there. You know, Fletch, he's a little guy, 5'8" or 5'10", and he calls himself Big Fletch. BigFletch.com. You know, Terry Bradshaw was talking about the runt factor in the pregame show. He was talking about Doug Flutie, the runt factor, the guys that play with an attitude. That's Fletch. That's Big Fletch. He's the runt of the litter, and he has that attitude. He's nipping at you.
Saints are 3 for 6 on third down. Everybody out. Outside of Lamar Smith again, and he's pulled down by London Fletcher. He made the play. It's short of a first down, and the Saints will have another field goal try coming up.
Talk about the low center of gravity. Watch Fletch. He's running out here with Lamar Smith. They're both running towards the sidelines. Smith tries to throw on the brakes and get his momentum going that way, trying to cut back upfield. Fletch doesn't buy it. Fletch plants. He's got that low center of gravity, makes the play.
Great story coming out of a Division III school. John Carroll.
He was a point guard.
Yeah, in basketball. That's right. Special team star last season, now starting middle linebacker. But right now, the Saints are about to take the lead if Bryant can make this 45-yarder, and he does. Doug Bryant is 3 for 3, and the New Orleans Saints, who gave up a touchdown on the first possession of the game, have scored 3 field goals to lead.
Mike Ditka coming over to tell Lamar Smith, hey, you're my guy. I'm going to need that all day long. You know, we've made a statement. There's Ricky Williams coming over as well. We made a statement in the first quarter, but I'm going to need you all day. You're my guy. There's nobody better to get in a foxhole with than Mike Ditka.
Great job. And this time there's that low squib kick. It rolls to Tony Horn at the 10. Horn's had 119 yards in returns already, and this is a good one. Breaks it outside, finds the seam, and is across midfield when Sammy Knight finally took him down. Tony Horn is putting on a show. He sat out 4 games because of a suspension. He returned last week. They didn't kick to him. And today, it's the Tony Horn show, and Bobby April, the special teams coach, doesn't like it. The leading kick return man in the NFL has 160 yards today on 4 returns.
They've been out over the 50 twice, and he's got it to his own 45 once. They'd be better off, Sam, kicking the ball out of bounds. They'd start at the 40.
64, 13, 42, and 41, the returns for Tony Horn. The Rams start just across midfield. Warner gets time and goes deep, looking for Isaac Bruce. Flag on the play. There was bumping between Bruce and Ashley Ambrose. It's interference against Ashley Ambrose.
I'm not sure where his arm was, but I can tell you this.
Pass interference, 43, defense. First down is a foul.
He looks back at the ball. There's the arm. It's the arm. When he stuck his arm out, when he stuck that arm out, that's the arm bar. and that's when the flag's going to come out. Had he just bumped into him as he was looking back at the ball, that would not have been called. But that arm out for 1 second, that's the arm bar. They're going to pull that flag every time.
35-yard penalty. Spot the ball at the Saints 14. Two tight ends in for the Rams. The play fake, Warner fires, incomplete. Couldn't tell if he wanted to go to the man in the end zone or whether he tried to hit Isaac Bruce inside the 10. And we have an injured player. Austin Robbins is down for New Orleans. And he's touching his left knee. Yee. That's been the story for Mike Ditka. Injuries. It started with Joe Johnson in training camp, and when they lost him, that was a big part of their defense.
Big, huge. And they've struggled since they lost him. And then the other guys that have come in and filled in, and everybody out there on defense is playing with some sort of injury.
Oh.
And last week they lose Jared Tomich.
Just hate to see that. Let's find out what's going on the Rams side of the field with DeMarco Farr was injured earlier. Let's go down to the sideline to Pete Peterson. Pete.
Well, Sam, the injuries continue to mount for the Rams defense. DeMarco Farr, you saw him come out. He has a strained hip flexor. He went into the locker room, but just came back out. His return is questionable. And also Tajay Allen, the cornerback, has a bruised left knee. I think we'll see him back in the ballgame.
Thanks, Pete. Saw Mike Ditka talking to the referee, Bill Carollo, earlier, and that was about that pass interference penalty. Let's get an update on what's going on with the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles. JB.
Sam and Bill, a sustained drive of 12 plays, 49 yards, ends with this Brad Johnson intended for Stephen Alexander, bounces off of his chest to fullback Mike Sellers, scored nonetheless. Skins on top, 10-0, 4:33 left. Back to Sam and the guy who helped me out, Bill Maas.
Yeah, you've been helping JB?
Inspirational stuff, you know. He's trying to trim down a little bit. Yeah. He doesn't.
You're kind of.
He wants to be the
pumping
runt.
him up, huh?
He wants to be the runt of that litter. You know, the pregame litter. He wants to get down and real skinny and be the runt, but the runt with an attitude.
Austin Robbins limps off. Saints have 6 defensive backs in. It's 2nd and 10 for the Rams. Warner. Intended for Oz Hakeem. And that'll bring up a 3rd down for the Rams.
Alex Molden got a nice jam on Hakeem as he came out. He came right about the 5-yard area, that gray area in there, maybe a little bit past 5 yards. But as he came into the break in his route, Hakeem got jacked by Molden, and that disrupted the pattern. And that's some of the things you need to do to disrupt the timing and the rhythm of this passing game for St. Louis.
3rd down for the Rams. Kurt Warner has been incomplete on his last 4 passes. This time to Marshall Faulk inside the 5. And it looks like he's got enough for a 1st down. Gerard Cherry made the tackle, but here's the leading receiver among running backs in the NFL, Marshall Faulk.
And you have to get a jam on him, too. They want the linebacker to pick him up out of the flat and jam him as he comes out. Right there, they want him to get a piece. They don't get a piece. Cherry doesn't come over in time, the nickel backer, until it's too late. Yeah, you can't let Marshall Faulk come free out of the backfield unscathed. He'll kill you.
1st and goal at the 3. Oz Hakeem in motion. Faulk. Got a good block from Timmerman. Got to the goal line, but it looks like he's just short. Inches short of the goal line.
You know, they spent a lot of money offensively on the Rams. Timmerman was one of the guys they got. And the reason they got him was they wanted him to block Bryant Young for the 49ers. This is a power. They get the block out right there.
50 reporting to an eligible position.
What?
5-0 reporting to an eligible position.
It's 2nd and goal inside the 1. That's center Ryan Tucker, who's in as an eligible as a tight end. The handoff to Faulk, and he's in. The Rams. It started with a great return by Tony Horn. It's finished by Marshall Faulk. And the Rams have regained the lead.
See the sign, a new marshal in town? There's a new marshal in town. There's a lot of talk about law with this team. There's a new sheriff in the NFC West.
Now here's something strange. They're going to go for 2. I don't know, Bill. I don't know how you feel about it. So early in the game to try for 2, but the Rams want to go for it. They got a 3-receiver grouping to the right, and now the whistle stopped the play. The Saints called timeout just before the ball was snapped. They didn't have the people on the field they wanted.
Timeout, New Orleans. That's the team's first charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
Here's the touchdown run, and watch Timmerman with the lead block, and there's Holcombe, and look at the push and the surge. All those guys laying on the ground, and Marshall Faulk standing up in the end zone. And Timmerman, that's one of the acquisitions they got. They spent their money on offense. They really didn't spend any money on defense. Matter of fact, they couldn't keep Roman Pfeiffer because of the money they had to use to upgrade the offense. But Timmerman was one of the guys they had to get. And the reason they got him was for Bryant Young, a guy to control him as the top dog in the division. And then, of course, Faulk and Trent Green. And then a heck of a draft in Torrey Holt.
Leading 13-9, the Rams are going for 2. The handoff inside and fighting his way across the goal line. It's good. Marshall Faulk. How about that one?
Well,
that was Faulk.
The good thing about scoring 2 when you go for 2 is you never have to question it. You know, you never have to go back and say, well, what if, how come? They line up, they get Faulk, they get the surge, he's in.
Here are the sounds of the game down in the trenches near the goal line. Marshall Faulk.
You know, when they get down there, when it sounds like thunder, and it's a rumble, that's the offense winning. You know, it's like, and it's in. It's the push. When it sounds like boom, a big bang, a gunshot, that's the defense winning.
Jeff Wilkins kicks it off. Coming down to Dino Filyaw, 2 yards deep. Filyaw finds an opening and gets up to the 30-yard line. Good return. Brought down by Lorenzo Styles on the play.
Show me the money!
It was the sports world's biggest deal maker. Tom Cruise, Oscar winner Cuba Gooding Jr., Action's Jay Moore, and Renee Zellweger. Star in the world broadcast premiere of Jerry Maguire, Wednesday at 8/7 Central on Fox. That's what you tell me every week.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. From the 30. Saints trail by 6. Cam Cleland is split off the line, the tight end to the right side. Billy Joe Hobert going outside. It's incomplete. The catch was made by Keith Poole, but out of bounds. Now, I guess the Rams wanted that 6-point lead because maybe they figure they're going to hold the Saints to field goals the rest of the game.
Or if you look, if they do score 1 touchdown, you know, the Rams have to be concerned to the fact that they're chewing up the clock. They being the Saints.
Yeah.
They've controlled the time of possession. They've moved the ball against the Rams. But they've got to get their points while they can.
Troy Davis has shifted out of the backfield to the slot. Lamar Smith goes up the middle for about 5 to the 35-yard line. The Saints have played well in this game. They haven't been able to push it into the end zone. But after going 3 and out on the first possession, that's pretty good. 9 plays, 8 plays, leading to field goals.
You know, I think they've got to be happy in what they've seen out of their offense. In the first half last week against Jacksonville, that was some of their best football. And they continued it out here in this half. They're moving the ball. They're spreading it around. They're keeping you off balance defensively.
On 3rd and 5. And it was almost intercepted by Dexter McCleon, thrown behind Lamar Smith, but it hit the ground. So that's 3 and out for the Saints this time, as the Rams do a good job. Rams had Kevin Carter back on the field on that last defensive series.
Well, the reason this ball was thrown behind was watch the pressure on the backside. Watch Light come untouched. He's there in a heartbeat, and Hobert knew he had to get rid of it. And he had to throw that ball before the receiver had turned around.
Close to an interception. Tommy Barnhart, second punt of the game. Way up there. Fair catch, waved for by Oz Hakeem. He's got it at the 25-yard line. 6:10 to go, first half. 40-yard punt for Tommy Barnhart. That was 4.8 seconds of hang time. St. Louis Rams 8-2. This is the NFC's best. Second, Detroit with a win on Thanksgiving, and right behind them, Washington. Washington leading today 10-3 at home against Philadelphia. Minnesota's got a bye. Tampa Bay, Dallas is 6-5 after their win.
You know, you look at these teams, and you know, all of them are capable of putting up points, but I have to look at the defenses. I think St. Louis has a good defense. Detroit has really come on defensively. I think Dallas has a good defense.
How about Tampa Bay?
I don't know if they can score the points to compete.
Faulk on first down, picks up about 7 on the play. And the Rams with Pete Junta.
There's Pete, and he's down there, and they're talking over all the different formation and personnel groupings that they're seeing from New Orleans. And heck, it used to be the first 8 games in New Orleans, you know where they were going to line up. They'd have a tight end and 2 tight ends. They'd have Ricky and a fullback, and they were going to run downhill at you. Now they spread them out. They got 3 receivers, 4 receivers. They're getting the back into the passing game as well.
Holcombe and Faulk. Faulk peels off, goes in motion. On second down, it's Robert Holcombe. Burst through the hole. Good pickup. Up to the 47-yard line. Brady Smith finally brought him down. Nice run by Holcombe.
When you get Faulk going outside, right now you're thinking, okay, pass. Holcombe was a fullback. You see Bordano get tied up in there? He gets tied up inside, and that was the hole. Holcombe was a tailback last year. He was drafted. He was going to be a utility back, a guy that could run, a guy that could catch out of the backfield. But due to the need of a fullback, now they're going empty again. Wow. Due to the need of a fullback,
look at this shift.
They had to move him to fullback.
15-yard pickup on his first carry. Warner looks to the right. Everybody is left. Warner scrambling, trying to get out of trouble. Gets rid of it, incomplete. Holcombe was open, but Warner throwing on the run, threw it behind him. Everybody was left, and Warner rolled out right.
I think this was a broken play. I really believe this was a broken play because nobody ran a route. they had 3 receivers at the top of the screen and nobody went anyplace. They're standing here. Watch these guys. They got 4 guys over here and nobody goes anywhere. They're looking for a screen to the backside, if anything, but it's not there because it's taken away by Fields.
2nd and 10 for the Rams at their own 47. Isaac Bruce in motion. Warner looks like he wants to run. And maybe picked up a yard on the play. What strange plays these last 2.
Well, the last play was a screen that got broken up and he couldn't do anything with it. This was a shovel pass. They wanted to run the shovel pass underneath. So he's going to come this way and he wants to flip it to the back right here. He's looking for the shovel right there to Faulk, but it never developed because of the pursuit by Wayne Martin and Willie Whitehead.
At the 48-yard line. Have to get to the Saints 43 for a first down. Warner being chased, gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. Intended on the near sideline for Isaac Bruce. Ashley Ambrose was covering, and Kurt Warner looks a little disappointed with that series.
Well, disappointed. They had the screen fell down, the shovel pass fell down. Then they find themselves in 3rd and long, and what they do, the New Orleans Saints, is they create that indecision in the offensive line again. They shift their defensive lineman around, and they create a seam. And Glover popped free that time, and he was chasing Kurt Warner. Bad throw.
Mike Horan is back for his 4th punt. It's a good kick. Kennison's got to chase it deep. He raised his right arm. Now he takes it on a bounce. He started to raise his arm for a fair catch. It bounced, and Kennison able to grab it, was hit down immediately at the 6-yard line. 46-yard punt. Moran's done a good job.
No, you don't want to. He lost sight of where he was on the field. You don't want to fair catch it inside the 10. You get away from that thing. Plant your feet on the 10, and whatever happens behind you, let it happen.
Next week on Fox NFL Sunday, these Rams go to Carolina. The Saints visit Atlanta. See the other games we have for you as well. In the late game, Philadelphia and Arizona. All the action begins with a pregame show live from Detroit at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Discussion going on along the sideline. Meanwhile, the Saints backed up at their own 6. The toss for Lamar Smith. Charlie Clemens fights off the block and takes him down at around the 11-yard line. Pickup of about 5 on the play. Here's Charlie Clemens, third-year man out of Georgia. Came to the Rams as a free agent in 1997.
You know, I like the way Lamar Smith has played his first half. A tough guy. I mean, heck, Ricky Williams is a franchise. He's down there. He's the top talk of everything around New Orleans. And, okay, he's down. For the first time, they finally sit him down to do all those injuries. And now it's Lamar Smith's time. Stand up and say, here I am. I can make a difference. Whether it be here or someplace else, he's taking this on his shoulders.
2nd and 6 for the Saints. The crowd gets loud. The blitz is coming. And Billy Joe Hobert's pass is tipped and falls incomplete. Bring up a 3rd down play. Mike Ditka calls the play, sends them in through Tom Clements. There he goes.
There's Clements. This is Tommy Clements, the quarterback coach, and he's talking to Hobert right now. And Ditka is the one calling the plays just because he gets a feel for things. You know, nothing about he and Danny Abramowitz work together. Danny sees the field up in the booth, but they're working together. Sometimes Mike says, I get a feel for something, and I go with it.
4 wide receivers in for the Saints. The draw play to Lamar Smith. He's got a block. He gets across the 15, and it's going to be close. Ray Agnew made the tackle. And he may be a little bit short, Bill.
It looks to be.
Good run by Lamar Smith.
And those are the official chains on that side of the field, too. You see, these are the official chains because they're linked with that chain. See them dragging the chain out? So that's the official chains. Now, on the other side of the field, they aren't the official chain. You see they're just a little bit short here.
So the Saints will send on the punting unit. Rams do a good job back-to-back. Good defensive series for the Rams. If you joined us late, Rams got a great return on the opening kickoff by Tony Horn, 64 yards, and went in 3 plays and had a 7-0 lead. Then the Saints came back with 3 field goals and led 9-7. And once again, a Tony Horn return of 41 yards put the Rams in position to march in for a go-ahead touchdown. They scored on a 2-point conversion. Barnhart's 3rd punt. That's Oz Hakeem standing at the 42. Kick is short. Hakeem waits for a fair catch at the Rams' 49-yard line. With 2:41 to go in the first half, the Rams have good field position. Well, talking about the Rams and big moments in their history, 10 years ago this week, Flipper Anderson set the NFL record for receiving yards against the Saints. He made 15 catches for 336 yards. That's incredible. That was almost 1/3 of his receiving yards for the season. Rams won the game in OT 20-17.
336 in one game.
Is that unreal? Wow. That's Kevin Carter. He's been nicked up a little bit, but he's been back in from the 49. Warner off the hands of Robert Holcombe falls incomplete.
Where do we get all these little fun facts? Is that you that digs these up?
No, we got our crew. They're searching. They're looking for.
They're digging for stuff?
Absolutely.
They're like Peabody, you know, little trivia. You know, Peabody comes up with all that little trivia
Right.
stuff. Yeah, we have little trivia every single week.
Well, you know, we have a conference
10 years
call.
ago today, 336 yards by Flipper.
Well, you tell our guys to find the nugget.
I always tell them to get nuggets. So you got to come to the show with a nugget.
There was one of the nuggets. Warner is 1 for his last 7 out of the shotgun. Has time, and it's incomplete. Warner's not sharp today. Not sharp. A little off. That one was intended for Isaac Bruce. Brings up a 3rd down for the Rams.
And this is where New Orleans has been good. You know, you think about the Rams on 3rd down for the year. They're at 48%. They're nowhere near that today. New Orleans Saints has done a real good job on 3rd down of getting off the field. They go to this 3-down lineman. You see the 3-down lineman. Then they always mix something off of it. Something funny's going to come. Here comes the corner.
Blitz coming. He steps away. There's a flag on the play, and the pass broken up by Ashley Ambrose, who's doing a good job on Isaac Bruce. There's a flag down. Tripping call against the Rams. So the Saints hang in there with a good defensive series. Bill Carollo will fill us in.
Tripping, number 61, offense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
Tom Newton is the man called for the trip. And the Rams will punt it right back to the Saints. Punt number 5 for Mike Horan. Good high kick. Kennison lets it bounce inside the 5, and a good bounce for the Saints as it went away from Chris Thomas, who was down there trying to down it inside the 5. It's a touchback, and the Saints will go back. We'll get it on offense at the 20.
Speaking of the 3rd down conversion of New Orleans, Ashley Ambrose has been locked up on Isaac Bruce for the most part of the day. He came into town here yesterday. He had the flu. He lost 6 pounds. They sent him right to bed. They said, get to bed, get your rest. He's been sick, really sick. And today he's held Bruce to just 1 catch. And normally you're thinking 3rd down, Isaac Bruce, something's going to happen. Ashley Ambrose has done a nice job today thus far.
2:17 to go in the half. The delay to Lamar Smith, and he's got a hole. Good run up to the 28-yard line. Tripped up by Billy Jenkins.
Lamar Smith's everywhere. I mean, he's running inside. He's running outside on the tosses. He's catching the ball out of the backfield.
We've reached the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go in the first half. The banged-up Saints have hung in there with the first-place Rams. The TWA Dome is the place to be in St. Louis. This is the hot spot this year with the Rams turning things around. St. Louis is really enjoying things. They have not had a playoff game here in St. Louis since 1982 when the Cardinals played here. Ball up to the 30-yard line. Jeff Sconino is playing for the injured DeMarco Farr. Made the stop. And there's a timeout whistle for.
Watch this little train wreck right here. Here's Fletcher, and here's the fullback. This is the lead. And someplace in there, they've got to meet each other. Fletcher gets low and gets the jack. But you see where Lamar Smith went? He followed the hips of the fullback. Sometimes the fullback doesn't necessarily have to knock somebody forward as just as much as wall him. Give him a seam, give your back a seam, and it looked like it was enough of a seam for Lamar Smith.
Have a measurement on the play here. And once again, I think the Saints are going to come up a couple of... Oh, no. Made it. Made it. First down. Minute 48 remaining, first half. Any replay challenges are in the hands of the officials upstairs in the final 2 minutes of the half. We have not had any challenges today. Marvin Powell and Lamar Smith in the backfield. Toss it, bad throw. That's a live ball and wrestled out of bounds as Lamar Smith. Thought that was a bad toss by Billy Joe Hobert. Billy Jenkins pulled Lamar Smith out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
New Orleans using a little bit more of a true fullback this time. Yeah, there goes Marvin Powell. He comes out of the game now. They haven't used the fullback much in the last couple of weeks. That's their base personnel pack. They haven't gone with the fullback. They've gone with 2 backs in there. It's been Ricky and Lamar Smith last week, and now they're going single back, 3 wide receivers and a tight end.
And the tight end is the fine receiving tight end, Cam Cleveland. Everybody out. The toss is short and complete to Andre Hastings, his 5th reception of the game. He's back to the original line of scrimmage.
New Orleans, that's the team's 2nd charge timeout, 30-second timeout.
It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Saints with 1:27 to go in the half. Saints have 1 timeout remaining.
Mike obviously wants to talk this one over. A big 3rd down here with 1:27 left. They want to make sure they get what they feel to be the right call to give them a shot at a 1st down, because with 1:27 left and you got the chance to punt, they don't get it here and you punt to St. Louis. You know St. Louis can strike from anywhere.
And you don't want to have a turnover either this late in the half and in this position on the field. Don't forget, Visa halftime reports coming up. JB, Chris, Howie, Terry standing by, scores, highlights. And the Fox Sports ticker up to the second stats. You see?
We get it up to the second
stuff. Here's 3rd and 10. Hobert being rushed. Finds the man. It's Eddie Kennison. 1st down across the 40. Nice grab by Kennison. He was covered by Taji Allen. 4th reception of the game for the former Ram.
Nice pickup by Lamar Smith, too. They went max protection. The back stepped up, picked up that rush from the Rams, gave Hobert time to make that throw, which also gives the receivers time, Kennison, to come back.
Saints go no huddle. Short to Cam Cleveland, who's missed the last 2 games with a hamstring injury. It's been a tough year for Cam Cleveland, who was so good last year. He's had 3 different injuries this year: an ankle, a rib, and a hamstring.
He's gone from one thing to another, week to week to week. And being a tight end on Ditka's team, that's tough to swallow.
Everybody out again, no huddle. Hobert throws short, incomplete. Flag is in. Flag comes down from the back judge.
Illegal use of the hands.
It's against the Rams.
Illegal contact, 41, defense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
It's Todd Light. Dick Vermeil doesn't like it. That spots the ball in Rams territory, just short of the 48-yard line. There's Doug Bryan, who's already kicked 3. He's 3 for 3, including a 51-yarder. Saints need about 13 yards to get into Bryan's range. That pass complete to Lamar Smith, but only a pickup of about a yard or 2. Good job by London Fletcher.
Timeout, New Orleans. That's their 3rd and final timeout. 30-second timeout.
Bryan was reaching him from about 58 yards away in pregame warm-ups.
Ladies and gentlemen,
his career long 56, season long 52, but right now it'd be in the 60-yard range. It's a little too long. They still need about 10 yards.
56 has been his career best.
31 seconds to go, 1st half. The Rams scored first. The Saints then kicked 3 consecutive field goals to grab a 9-7 lead. The Rams answered back with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. It's 2nd down. Have to get inside the 39 for a 1st down. Now the Rams call a timeout.
That's the team's first charge timeout, 30-second timeout.
Rams timeout.
Dick Vermeil in his 3rd year since coming out of retirement. He looked as upbeat as I've ever seen him. Bill, when we talked with him, he's really excited about this team. And you know what you got to like? Last year there were complaints about, oh, they're working the players too hard. Well, they go out every practice with their T-shirts on. Got to go to work.
Got to go to work. You know, what he has done, Dick Vermeil, in the offseason is really hats off to him, because he looked at himself, he looked at the team, and he made the tough decisions to change. He changed personnel, he changed coaches, and he changed a little bit of his philosophy. Lightened up some of the guys in training camp, changed the routine on how they practice, give them some time off on Mondays when they win, so they have Monday and Tuesday off. And did some little things, and it's paying off. The guys, he's got the team back.
Flag down. Hobert gets time. Throws too high for Eddie Kennison. Check out the flags. There's one on either side of the field. And there's one in the middle. So all the officials were busy.
Hey, they had too many men on the field.
So the Rams called timeout, wound up with too many men. Let's see.
I was counting real quick. Yeah.
12 men on defense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
You can see how Dick Vermeil feels about that.
They had dime on the field defensively, but they had the extra backer right there. You can count, there's 12. They wanted dime in the secondary, but they had the nickel backer still on the field.
Now the ball spotted across the 43. Hobert sends everybody out under pressure. There's a flag on the play, being chased by Scanina. He dumped it off, incomplete. Lamar Smith was there with London Fletcher right alongside. Let's check out the flag with 18 seconds to go in the first half.
I think it's going to be another Ram penalty. This was away from the play, all the way on the back side of the field here towards us. I think they got Dexter McCleon for holding. Hands again.
Illegal use of the hands. Hands to the face. 21. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
It is Dexter McCleon.
You'll see him down the bottom right here. I thought he got him up around the collar. You see the hands. There it is. I saw his collar pull, and I thought they were going to get him for pulling on that collar. But they said he was going up to, they thought it hit his helmet. I didn't see it.
I think they're right about at long distance range for Doug Bryan with 18 seconds to go. Hobert. He's got a man. And it is a great catch by Andre Hastings. Andre Hastings has been the receiving star of the game for the New Orleans Saints. Beautiful grab.
Great job of stepping up in the pocket by Hobert. Kevin Carter comes around, and Hobert just slides up in the top, and you see the route by Hastings. Got open. Hobert was there to deliver it. Both ends of the field there working in conjunction.
Pickup of 20 on the play, and with 11 seconds to go in the first half, the Saints will go for the field goal. It'll be a 35-yard attempt for Doug Bryan.
11 seconds. I think you still got a shot at the end zone.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't take one shot.
You have one shot into the end zone.
And Bryan is 4 for 4. He has provided the points for the Saints, who have hung in there. Took advantage of some Rams penalties, able to move down, and then a terrific 20-yard pickup on the pass from Billy Joe Hobert to Andre Hastings. Hastings 5 catches, 72 yards here in the first half. And the Rams lead is cut to 3. It's 15-12.
You know, I think Dick Vermeil is going to go in at halftime and tell his team, hey, wake up.
Yep.
Okay, wake up. Get your heads out of your butts. Let's go. You know, I know we just played San Fran, and that's our rival. We beat them twice this year. That's last week. That's gone. We're in a dogfight here.
I just got my up to the second stats. Hastings is 6 for 92. 6 catches, 92 yards.
I'll tell you what, that crackpot crew we got downstairs on stats is something else, aren't they? I mean, they are just all over it.
Great first half for Andre Hastings, and with Ricky Williams out, Lamar Smith has done a solid job of running the football. as the Saints have been able to mix it up offensively.
They're mixing it up, and I'll tell you, I think Hobert's played well too. He's played well. He's made good decisions with the ball. Hasn't been effective all the time. He's made his mistakes. What do you expect for a guy that's been 6 weeks out of it? But he's done some nice things.
7 seconds to go in the half. Doug Bryan kicks it along the ground. The up man grabs it, and that'll be it. Andy McCullum, the lineman, took it. There's 5 seconds to go. One play for the Rams. Vermeil talking things over. See if the Rams will take one shot down the field. Rams leading 15-12. But it has not been a sharp first half. They've had some brief moments, but the guy who has starred is Tony Horn. His kick returns have been the big factor, and the fans don't like it. They wanted the Rams to take a shot. The Rams will go into the locker room with a 3-point lead. Dick Vermeil
That's the end of the first
will
half.
talk to his team. Mike Ditka's club is hung in there. Visa halftime report is coming up next. 102, Rams 78.
And look at that time of possession. Almost 19 minutes to 11 minutes for the Saints. And that's what you do. Keep their offense on the sidelines. And the total yards is 78. Keep that down. They have more return yards with Horn than they do with total offense.
He's the reason they're in the lead. Wilkins kickoff. Dino Filho at the goal line. Cuts it to the middle. Little got a piece of him, and then he was brought down at the 26-yard line. So the Saints 2-8 on the season. These two teams will meet again 2 weeks from today in New Orleans. Billy Joe Hobert's been a nice return to the lineup for him. 14 for 23. No turnovers in the game for either team. Kurt Warner 5 for 15. Little off in that first half. Lamar Smith, the lone setback. Saints start with 3 wide receivers, swinging out to Smith a little behind him. But a good grab, and he gets across the 30-yard line. His 4th reception of the game. He's up to the 31. Charlie Clemens made the tackle.
And we talked about Hobert as we left the half, and he's doing a nice job. He's 15 of 19 on his last 19 pass attempts.
Real good number.
Heck, you know, you get to bring a guy in, and what they're doing by spreading out this offense, they're doing a lot of different things. And with the back out of the backfield, that's going to open some things up downfield.
The toss to Lamar Smith. They got him in the backfield. Ray Agnew was there, along with Grant Wistrom.
Well, that was a big pickup. You know, them getting Agnew in the offseason, a 10-year guy. And, you know, we talked to Kevin Carter yesterday. He loves it. He says he's such an energetic guy at practice and everything he does. He's a real pro. He's with the New York Giants. They brought him in as a free agent. And heck, anytime you get a guy with that old, with that much energy, it just feeds. They say they get really excited when he makes a play.
Not old. He's only 31. Billy Joe Hobert completes to Cam Cleland. First down for the Saints.
But 10 years in the trenches is like dog years.
I got you.
So he's 71. Agnew's really 71.
Mike Jones made the stop on Cam Cleland. With Cleland back, that gives the Saints another big target and another dimension to their offense.
Well, they're going to start what they're going to do now with Lamar Smith coming out of the backfield and with Cam Cleland. Now you're going to start attacking the middle of the field, this area right in here.
Off the play fake rush from Carter. Oh, wow. The ball was picked up, but it's an incomplete pass. Mike Jones picked it up and ran. Cleveland. I think Troy Davis misses this block here.
The ruling on the field is incomplete pass.
Watch the rush by Carter, because Cleveland's going to be open when we talked about in the middle of the field. But watch how Troy Davis just misses the block, and that pressure by Carter, he had to get rid of the ball. But watch Cleveland. We were talking about the middle of the field. He's going to end up right in here, and he's ready. He's ready to catch this ball, and that's where it would have gone if Troy Davis would have made his block.
It's kind of a mismatch in size when you put Davis up against Kevin Carter. Rams fans have to be happy to see Carter with the strong rush. He was nicked up a little bit in the first half. Rams have Nate Hopgood-Chittick, number 95, in, along with Jeff Skonina. Troy Davis and Wilmot Perry in the backfield. Wilmot Perry has not carried at all this season. Here's number 1. First carry of the season, and a good one, up across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Dexter McCleon made the tackle.
And that's the part of mixing it up. They throw the ball. They threw the ball to the back. They came with Cleveland, the tight end, in the middle of the field. Then they come back and line up, and they get back to what they started originally in the beginning of the season, the power run game. That time they had to double down with the tackle, Willie Rofe and Ackerman, and then they get the kick-out block by Naoli. And then they come back out, and they go 3 wides with Cam Cleveland right here.
Have to get to the Rams 49 for a first down. Everybody out. The throw is complete to Andre Hastings. And the ball popped loose, but it's down. The official ruled it down at the 45-yard line. And Hastings continues to be the big receiver.
Innovation. Go out.
The official pointed to the ground, ruled it down. Saints wound up, Kyle Turley wound up recovering. And a 100-yard reception day for Andre Hastings. Wilmot Perry is the lone setback. It's Perry carrying. Runs high and hard and across the 40, inside the 40 to the 38. Wilmot Perry, second-year man out of Livingstone, a 5th-round draft pick last year.
Keeping St. Louis defense on their toes. Now they come out, they quick snap the ball. These guys aren't even ready. He's not even in his stance. There's the block by Rope. Watch here. There's spot no on the seal. And there's another quick snap.
Perry carries.
Quick snap, back, power run game, hit the tight end. You can't hone in defensively. They're talking about chewing up the clock, how they control the time of possession in the first half. Look at this drive. They're just chewing this thing up. 5 minutes gone already. They're still after it.
Bring up a 3rd and 2 for the Saints. Have to get to the 35. 3 wide receivers, 2 setbacks. That's Davis and Perry in the backfield. Hastings in motion. Everybody out. Hobert got time, and he completes it to Keith Poole inside the 20. There's a flag on the play. Boy, when Hobert gets time, he's got good accuracy.
And Wilmot Perry bought him time. That was a nice pickup in the backfield by the back on Wistrom, staying after him, battling him, fighting him.
Illegal contact, 21 on the defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Dick Vermeil's got to be getting livid by now. I mean, his team, with all the penalties they've had on special teams, on the offense, on the defensive side of the ball. Watch the hands come up.
Yeah, beyond 5 yards. Poole's first reception of the game, good for 18 yards. 10th play of the drive for the Saints from the 19. Wilmot Perry. Wow, big collision with Mike Jones. Perry got the worst of it. Big hit by Mike Jones.
And that's the kind of tempo you need to change the pace of your team, to wake your team up. Somebody's got to make a big stick. Somebody's got to come up and get everybody electric. The crowd's asleep. The players are asleep. And watch this. And now Wilmot Perry's asleep. Just picked his feet right up off the turf with the momentum and force that Mike Jones delivered that with.
2nd and 10 for the Saints, who now have Troy Davis and Lamar Smith in the backfield. Cleveland shifts the toss to Lamar Smith. No gain on the play. Always have to be leery for Lamar Smith throwing the option pass. He threw one for a touchdown against the Rams last season.
And look at the effort. See, a hit like that, and everybody starts getting energized a little bit. You get the flow, the defensive tackles. Jay Williams there on the backside pursuit. Skonina, too. They're following, hustling down the line, stringing that thing out, and it wakes everybody up. It charges you up, and they need that.
Saints have had the ball for 6 minutes here to start the second half. But here's a third down play. It's 3rd and 10. They've got to get to the 9-yard line for a first down. Hobert throws complete to Cleveland at the 6. First down, Saints. Haji Allen took him down, but Cam Cleveland looking good and looking fit again with a big reception.
Well, I want you to take a look. Here he is, matched up right here on the slot. Now the backer's here, but his safety, Billy Jenkins, is going to get him. He leans into Jenkins, then comes back outside, and Hobert puts the ball outside at the numbers on a perfect throw. You see the separation he got? You have that size, that basketball stature. He's a big man, and he gets into Billy Jenkins Jr., gets that lean, and then push back outside.
Hobert 5 for 6 on this drive from the 7. The toss to Lamar Smith. Nothing there. Rams sought him out, took him down. Bring up a 2nd and goal for New Orleans.
They get a little chicken foot outside here, but watch the penetration by Wistrom right there. Look at that. That messes everything up. Now, Willie Rolf's off, he's off, and there's nobody outside to kick out, and you see all the blue jerseys swarm. That was the penetration by Wistrom, upfield, bang. And when I always say with playing defensive line, you get into the deep offensive backfield, you mess everything up. I don't care about this guy blocking or that guy, but get in the backfield and everything's messed up.
14th play of the drive. 2nd and goal from the 6. Hobert being rushed by Carter, throws it deep in the end zone, and it's incomplete, intended for Eddie Kennison. Billy Jenkins and Dexter McLean were there. And that'll bring up a 3rd and goal.
Well, Hobert had to worry about the pressure he was facing from Carter, but watch Kennison along the back of the end zone. Watch this ball. This ball's thrown nice high, where only Kennison can get it. And nice throw by Hobert in the face of Kevin Carter.
Just missed. Here's 3rd and goal. 3 wide receivers for New Orleans, with the tight end, Cam Cleveland, split off to the right side. Hobert throws incomplete. Missed timing on that play. Kennison, the intended receiver.
You know, I'll tell you, 2 guys have been battling all day today. It's Kevin Carter and Kyle Turley. Watch this move in here. These guys have been going at each other. Wang, and then the trip. Goes up to him in his chest and drops straight down to the ground and throws that leg at him.
Doug Bryan. There's Turley going off.
Turley will fight you. He comes to every game wanting to fight.
24-yard field goal attempt, and it hits the goal post and bounces off. The shortest one of the game for Bryan misses. And we've got flags on the play, because after the play, Scott Slutzker of the Saints was involved with one of the Rams.
London Fletcher came running after the play and just blasted Slutzker in the back. Now that's going to be after the play, so they're going to assess a 15 yards from the ball. They're going to back him up 15, which will be half the distance to the goal line.
And the officials will talk things over, but here's Doug Bryan, who had hit 4 field goals in the first half, 4 for 4, missing what looked to be a chip shot from 24 yards out. That would have tied the game.
Well, what about the length of that drive? They drove for almost 7.5 minutes and could come away with nothing.
They're offsetting personal fouls after the missed field goal. Personal foul, 84 on the kicking team. Personal foul, number 54 on the receiving team. Penalties offset, kickoff at the 30-yard line.
The referee made a mistake. No kickoff there. Offsetting personal fouls. Doug Bryan sitting alone after missing this 24-yarder. That would have tied the game. Bangs it off the upright. And then after the play, here's what happened.
There's 59. London Fletcher gets a shot on Slutzker, thinking that it's a live ball, but he still shoved him in the back, and then Slutzker retaliates. So that's where you have your offsetting penalties, but this is a lonely feeling here.
Oh, boy.
And you know, but they've had him out there. He shouldn't have had to kick that field goal. I mean, they've got down there. They got down there. And at some point in time, you've got to put that thing into the end zone. They have not been able to do that yet.
Can't let him off the hook on a 24-yarder. Sorry, Bill.
And they called on him 5 times, Sam.
What's he, tired?
Their leg hurt. They don't do that much during the week.
Warner, one for his last 9. Completes this one to Isaac Bruce. His second reception of the game. Time for an update on the Giants and the Cardinals. Let's go to JB.
Sam and Bill, Dave Brown is out, Jake Plummer's in, coach's decision. Snake play action, rolling left, whips a bullet to Rob Moore. Sparks had a hand on it, but Moore had more on it. It's 13-10. Arizona over the Giants. Back to Sam Rosen and Bill Maas.
Thanks, JB. So the Snake is back for Arizona. They're 4-6. They've won a couple in a row as they try to stay alive. Oz Hakeem in motion, and let's see, the flags fly. Let's see if the Saints were drawn off. 16-yard pickup on that last play. It was Isaac Bruce's second reception of the game.
Prior to the snap, false start, 62, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Adam Timmerman, who signed a big contract coming over from the Green Bay Packers, bringing his championship experience. The farmer from Iowa has an 800-acre farm.
His brother runs it for him. He goes back up there for the plant every year.
Beef cattle.
Yeah, I asked him about the combines. Hey, when you came out of college, you went to a Division II school, Division III school. Did you go to the combine? He said, the only combine I know is a John Deere. But he bought a new combine for his farm.
On 1st and 15, swinging out to Marshall Faulk. Willie Whitehead chases him out of bounds. After a couple of yard pickups, Saints continue to do a good job of controlling Marshall Faulk.
You know, I think the Rams tried to open things up just a little bit too much and get too creative. And I think they need to get back to Faulk. Running the ball. We haven't seen him get the ball in his hands, whether it be out of the backfield or the little swing pass like that we just saw. But he is what sparks everything, gets everything going.
Mike Martz, the offensive coordinator. Faulk, first in the NFC, second in the NFL in total yards from scrimmage. Only Edgerrin James of the Colts has had more. Warner, short to Oz Hakeem, who breaks a tackle. Hakeem picks up a block, then he's brought down by Fred Weary at midfield. Just a little short pass turned into a nice gain for the Rams. Oz Hakeem, second-year man from San Diego State. 18-yard pickup.
Sam, the one thing they did here, now they try to come with some stunts and they bring the blitz. This time, St. Louis picks it up. Watch the nice job up front. Orlando Pace comes out, picks it up. Warner has time, throws the delivery, and then Oz does what Oz does. Gets in the land of Oz and finds that yellow brick road.
Play fake, Warner. Wants to go deep for Isaac Bruce. Down at the 17-yard line. Well, they finally found Isaac for the big pickup. 33 yards on the play.
He has all the time in the world back there, and that's what you can't do. New Orleans didn't give him that time before, and he gets Ashley Ambrose turned around. Watch him. He's going to get him turned around. Right here, he loses him.
Warner got good time to throw. 3 catches, 63 yards for Isaac Bruce. First down for the Rams as Bruce goes in motion. Faulk slips Willie Whitehead. Turns it into a gain of 5. Whitehead with good penetration, almost had him. Wayne Martin and Ashley Ambrose finally took him down.
Watching Marshall Faulk run when he gets in traffic. I saw it in the Cincinnati game. And he has a little bit of that Barry Sanders in him. And his shoulders, the one thing about him, his shoulders are always square. They're always facing downfield. His hips swivel, his legs go every place and dart and slash and plant and go. But his shoulders are always going downhill.
Isaac Bruce in motion again. Warner gets time over the middle, completes to Isaac Bruce. And he's down inside the 10 to about the 7. Looks like he's very close to a first down. Fields and Bornano brought him down. And now the players have to be separated. by the officials. Looked like Roland Williams, the tight end, was involved with Brady Smith, the defensive end of the Saints.
Well, you see how dangerous Kurt Warner is given time. And that's on this drive, that's what he has had. He's had time in the pocket. Watch Faulk step up right here and buy time. This is buying time. There's the pocket. He helps out, and there's the delivery. He's 5 for 5, Warner is, on this drive. And all those times he's had pressure, but that pressure has gotten picked up. He's had his offensive line and his backs helping out, creating a pocket for him to throw.
First and goal at the 6. 3 wide receivers in for the Rams. Hakeem, Torrey Holt, and Isaac Bruce. The delay to Faulk, cuts it back inside. He's in. Touchdown. Marshall Faulk, second touchdown of the game. Got good blocking by the interior. The 2 guards, Newton and Timmerman. The center, Grudadoria, leading him through.
Oh, my goodness, was a good block. They sold it as a pass, and they hit him on the draw.
7 plays, 80 yards. The Rams widen the lead. After the Saints failed to score, the Rams come down the field and lead it 22-12.
Howie Long always used to throw the arm under and not the arm over. Watch this. Wayne Martin thinks it's a pass. The ball comes up in the air, and he tries the arm over on a swim move, but he gets caught. Look at the drive. Oh, my goodness. Don't get too high.
Tom Newton with the block.
Remember how he always used to throw that arm under?
Oh, absolutely.
That's why. He probably threw an arm over one time and got pancaked like that.
Dino Filliar comes out from 1 yard deep in the end zone. He slipped and goes down at the 15. Bad break for the Saints. The offensive line doing a great job protecting Kurt Warner and opening the hole for Marshall Faulk.
Offensive line coach Jim Hannafin right here. He's been coaching a long time, so he just tells his player, when you come to the bench, I want you to line up by your position. Look, that's exactly how they line up on the field. He might forget names or numbers, but he knows, hey, right guard, you better do this. On left guard, you need to do this. Watch the protection. Right tackle, I need you to do that.
Saints from their own 15, trailing by 10. Sconita, number 90, still in a tackle for the Rams. Flags go down as DeMarco Farr has not returned. He's been limping along the sideline. Went out with a hip injury early in the game after getting 2 sacks.
False start, 84, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Let's go down to the sideline for more on that from Pete Peterson. Pete.
Well, Sam, the defensive injuries continue to mount for the Rams. Devin Bush, the free safety who's in for the injured Keith Lyle, went out late in the first half with bruised ribs. They took the x-rays. They seem to be okay, but Rich Cody was in on that first series in the second half, so we'll see if Bush can return.
Cody is in, number 38. Billy Joe Hobert steps up, wide open field to run. Slides to the 20-yard line. First down marker is up at the 25. Good run for Billy Joe Hobert. Billy Jenkins covered him. We are late in the third quarter.
Billy Joe needs to slide with his feet. And didn't he just come off a neck injury?
Yeah. Each team has had the ball only once in the second half. Saints had a great drive for 7 minutes, 41 seconds, but it ended with a field goal attempt hitting the upright. Cut back by Lamar Smith. A good run for a first down and up to the 34-yard line. Ball popped loose.
Down. It's down the ground.
And the officials pointing to the ground says it's down.
The ruling on the field, the runner was down by contact, first down.
Well, they get a nice push here, then watch that. Naoli and Fontenot get the push, and Fontenot gets up on the backer, Fletcher. Fletcher's scraping over the top, and then Fontenot seals him off, and there's the cutback lane.
15-yard pickup for Lamar Smith. 16 carries, 49 yards. Slowed down and then stopped in the backfield. Agnew brought him down. Good job by the Rams interior. they throw Lamar Smith for a loss. If you joined us late, Ricky Williams out with turf toe injury. He wanted to play, but Mike Ditka, thinking it would be too hard to play on this artificial surface, has kept him out.
Well, he's concerned too. You know, you can remember back to Deion Sanders' turf toe. I mean, he was out for a long time. That's a painful injury, and it can be very serious.
On second down, Hobert gets time. Deep, but overthrows too high for Scott Slutzker, the tight end. Slutzker had a big game last week. Career high 64 yards in receptions.
And that was just Hobert. He had time. He had Slutzker open on the sidelines. He just overthrew him.
Rams send in 6 defensive backs. Saints have to get to the 45-yard line for a first down. 4 wide receivers. Saints are 8 for 15 on third down. They pick up Carter. The pass intended for Eddie Kennison is incomplete. He was covered well by Taji Allen. Allen went out with an injury early in the game, but he's come back and done a good job as the nickel defensive back.
That was one of those ones where you just throw it up and hope. Throw and hope, because at no time were any of the receivers on that side open. They were manned up by Light and Tajay Allen, and there was some good coverage all the way.
Tommy Barnhart toward the sideline. Oz Hakeem backs up to the 17. Spun around. Good job by Oz Hakeem. Breaks another tackle. Kendall Gammon, the long snapper, was down the field, had him by an ankle, and Hakeem broke that one. Good return for Oz Hakeem. 16 yards after a 52-yard punt. Rams on offense when we come back. Sam Rosen, Bill Maas, Pete Peterson at the TWA Dome in St. Louis, where the Rams have a 22-12 lead. Off the play fake, Warner steps up and completes to Torrey Holt across midfield to the Saints 47. Good comeback grab by Torrey Holt.
And the one thing they say about Torrey Holt, he's a young guy with a lot of speed, learning in the NFL to run the routes. He will go up and get a ball. You throw it up there, doesn't matter who's there, he will go up after it. And the whole play reminded me of Arena League. I mean, with Kurt Warner, he ran out with play action, pulled back up, set up, sprinted up to the front. The receivers ran their route, came back towards him, and bang. I mean, that's his mentality to throw the ball, make something happen, evolved in the Arena League.
20-yard pickup on the pass completion. We've reached the end of the third quarter. The Rams put 7 on the board and lead 22-12. On the left is Kurt Warner. On the right is his wife, Brenda. And they have been quite a pair. She has supported him, watched him get rejected by NFL teams, rejected by the Canadian Football League, come up through the Arena League in Iowa, and here he is starring in the NFL this year for the St. Louis Rams. We have a false start on the Rams. And the first play.
Prior to the snap, false start. 80, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty on Isaac Bruce.
Kurt Warner was 6 for 6 in the third quarter. Perfect.
After a very sluggish
They bought him
first
some time.
half.
They bought him some time, and then I also saw him moving around a little bit, buying his receivers time.
Faulk and Holcombe in the backfield. Rams from their own 48. The toss to Faulk. Gets across midfield. Running hard. Gets down to the 47-yard line of the Saints. Kurt Warner was with the Iowa Barnstormers in the Arena Football League. Took him to the championship game twice. Boy, that's some quick passing.
Quick passing, and you know, accurate passing. Accurate, it's there, and he throws it from a variety of different ways.
183 touchdown passes in 3 seasons.
How did they let him go?
Yes.
There it is.
Throws here for Isaac Bruce, and it's short. Incomplete.
You know, I say that kiddingly. Why did Iowa Barnstormers let him go? But on a serious note, talking with Kurt yesterday, you know, if he was in a situation where he was just always going to be a third quarterback and never really get the opportunity to play in the NFL, he said, I would go back. I would have gone back and played because I just want to play. You know, they're renegotiating his contract right now, and he said, whatever money I make more than what I'm making right now this year, I'm going to give to charity.
Well, Dick Vermeil said, you may not be getting paid a lot of money, but you're earning a lot of money. You're making a lot of money with the year you're having. On third down, Warner got time, finds Isaac Bruce. Breaks free. Excuse me, that's Torrey Holt. Torrey Holt on the reception gets down to the 30-yard line. Ashley Ambrose took him down, and Ambrose is shaken up on the play.
He has time in the pocket, first of all. This three-man rush that caused him problems before is now getting picked up. Here comes the guard, Newton out. He's got time. Now watch the zip on this ball through traffic. That's the accuracy that I'm talking about that I believe that he got in the Arena League. When things are flying around them and it's a smaller field, it's more compact, there's bodies everywhere. You think about an Arena League field and how small it is. And all those bodies running around in that short area, he makes a dart throw, and I think he learned it there.
It's Ashley Ambrose down as they check his right leg. The top cornerback for the New Orleans Saints. As they check him out, we'll step out for a moment. A little over a minute gone by in the fourth quarter. Ashley Ambrose being taped up, the right ankle. On the bench, on the sideline, Fred Weary is out right now.
Oh, he's out. Molden comes in, and Drakeford's on the other side. But Xavier Urelian said he was going to keep an eye on Fred Weary. And if he starts struggling a little bit, he wouldn't hesitate to go to Drakeford. That's what happened over there.
Two tight ends in for the Rams. The fake toss, and the pass incomplete, but a penalty on Tyrone Drakeford. He bumped Isaac Bruce as he made his cut. Second interference call on the Saints. So Drakeford, who replaced Weary, gets called on this one.
And things are going to get tough and ugly right now.
22 defense. First down.
Mike March is sitting upstairs saying, hey, I got Drakeford over here for Weary. I got Molden in. All right, let's throw it. Let's go at these guys. There's the old pull of the shirt.
Yeah. Ball spotted at the 20-yard line with Holcombe and Faulk in the backfield. Marshall Faulk. Timmerman with a good block, opened the hole. Faulk down to the 13-yard line. Let's get an update on the Giants and Cardinals from JB.
And Sam and Bill, what it is Jake Plummer for the Cardinals. Play action, drills a 9-yard pass to Johnny McWilliams. He was 5 of 5 for 61 yards on that drive. Heath Plummer, 20-10, Arizona in the fourth. Sam Rosen, Bill Maas.
Watch out for those cards.
Jake coming on.
We were talking about the NFC, looking at things. If you didn't have Arizona in there, you know, they're right in the mix. Talk about the NFC East. Anybody can pop up there, and they're still in the hunt.
Warner throws, and he's got a man wide open. It's Isaac Bruce inside the 5 to the 3. Sammy Knight made the tackle. Well, they needed Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner, and Isaac Bruce to come alive, and they've come alive here in the second half.
Come alive, and as long as you have these corners in here, they're going to go at him. Without help, he's got Drakeford. He's given time off. He's backed off. He's outside of it. He's got the underneath by the linebacker, but he's just too far off. Isaac Bruce will have his way with him doing that. 5
catches, 81 yards now for Isaac Bruce. The last one was for 11. It's 1st and goal Rams. Inside the 4, Bruce in motion. Holcombe, the up back. He bangs his way in. Touchdown Rams. Robert Holcombe, led by Mike Grudadoria and Tom Newton, takes it in. And the Rams, with their second touchdown of the first half, are breaking this one open. Similar to last week when the Saints hung with Jacksonville for the first half, but faded in the second half. The Rams, 2 touchdowns, 1 in the third quarter, 1 already here in the fourth. This one is by Robert Holcombe. The blocking is strong. Holcombe scores.
What happened defensively on here is they try to make something happen. They slant Brady Smith inside. He gets washed down by pace. And here comes Bordano over the top. The linebacker has to fill. He misses the tackle on Holcombe in the backfield. When you stunt your line and you bring your linebackers, everybody's got to be there. And when you're there, you've got to make it wrap.
Wilkins kicking it off. Dino Filiar goes over to take it at the 1. Good move by Filiar. Gets outside. Pushed out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Right at the 30. Nice return by Filiar. Dre Bly pushed him away. The offensive line of the Rams has picked it up here in the second half. Protection and rush blocking.
And there's the offensive line all in their spots. Imagine these guys when they got to go to the grocery store. All sitting there right in a row, all walking down the aisle. Just, they can't go anywhere without being lined up. And Hannafin, he's talking to them, all right tackle, you do this, and then left tackle do this, and put it in the end zone.
Hobert on first down completes to Andre Hastings. He's been the big receiver for the Saints, over 100 yards in the game. Todd Light chased him out of bounds. Don't forget, coming up on Fox Following Football, we proudly present Olympic and world champion athletes in the most dynamic head-to-head competition of the season. Rivals become teammates in the Grand Slam of Skating, Pros Super Teams Challenge. It's coming up right after football.
And there's Hannafin, and he gets his players involved. When he plays hangman, he gets all the players involved. He's got them out there, and he said, pick a word, touchdown. Who do you want? Faulk, and they spell it out in the dash. I think Grudadoria had 2 legs and 2 arms.
Hobert ran away from Carter, completes to Cleland. Good grab, and down the sideline he goes. Upended by Devin Bush at the 40-yard line. And Cleland slow getting up. Time for an update from Washington. For that, let's go to JB.
Sam and Bill, no matter how bad the Eagles are, they get well against Washington. Donovan McNabb, plenty of time, finds Luther Broughton, bangs out 2 skins there, and a couple more there, all tied at 17. Washington, though, has the ball in Eagle territory. Back to Sam and Bill.
Thanks, JB. Look at the standings. Washington on top, but they're struggling against the bottom Eagles. The Giants are losing to Arizona, and you see where Dallas is, but Dallas has got the best schedule, Bill. That's what I think. They've got a lot of home games, and they're dynamite at home.
And I think they have the best defense.
Cleland, 24-yard pickup. 4 catches, 54 yards. Hobert checking off at the line. Rams players want the fans to get loud.
And they are.
Hobert has time. Going deep for Keith Poole, and it's broken up. Dre Bly, the rookie out of North Carolina, went up and knocked it down. Good play. As he stayed with Keith Poole all the way.
Well, what they do when they go dime defense, they bring Bly in, and they let him over on the corner because his skills as a cornerback aren't purely developed yet. He gets a little lax in technique sometimes, but can he run, and does he have athletic ability? So they put him out there against the sidelines and said, go run with him and stay with him, and that's exactly what he did.
Saints with a 2nd and 10 at the Rams 39. Hobert going short and completing to Eddie Kennison at the 35-yard line. 5th catch of the game for Eddie Kennison. This was a 3-point game at halftime, with the Saints having kicked 4 field goals and the Rams having 2 touchdowns plus 1 2-point conversion. It was 15-12. Saints drove down the field with a kickoff, 7 minutes 41 seconds, then were stopped, kicked a field goal attempt, and hit the upright. Rams got it, marched 80 yards down the field for a big touchdown. They've added another touchdown, and that's where we stand right now with a big lead for the Rams. 3rd down. Hobert trying to get it to Hastings. It's intercepted. Dexter McCleon with a diving pick and the first turnover of the game.
Billy Joe was backpedaling when he threw that ball. Didn't have his feet planted. Threw it just a little short. McCleon backpedaling, throwing off the side. McCleon steps in front of it. This whole play starts at the line of scrimmage with the jam. Watch McCleon. Look at him take it right to the chest of Hastings. You don't think that messes up a pass route? He should be downfield further. And then on the other end of it, Hobert's backpedaling as he throws this ball and throws it short. McCleon steps right in front of it.
Second interception of the season for Dexter McCleon. 17th interception for the Rams, who have the ball at their own 24. Marshall Faulk takes it, slips a man, and turns it into a big gain across the 40. Pickup of 17 for Marshall Faulk. And the Rams got it together at halftime.
Well, it took them a half, but now they're hitting. Now they're hitting things. They're hitting them outside on the pass play. Look at the line blocking up here. Jeff Robinson outside on the push. And there's the seam. And once Marshall Faulk gets past that first tier of defensive linemen or defensive players, then it's just all shaky. He can do whatever he wants. Anything can happen.
12 carries, 59 yards. Warner couldn't find anybody. Dumps it off to Robert Holcombe. Gets up across midfield. Boy, does he run hard. Mark Fields finally took him down at the Saints' 49-yard line. The one thing the Rams have done, or have not done, that has enabled them to keep New Orleans at bay is they haven't turned the ball over. And even though the Saints kept coming at them, they had to settle for field goals. The Rams didn't give them extra opportunities or easy opportunities.
Well, that's where we go back when we talked about in the first quarter, the turnovers that they used to have. And last year, they'd always be behind in the first quarter and turn the ball over. This year, that's the big difference.
Warner going deep, and it's incomplete. There was a little contact between Isaac Bruce and Ashley Ambrose. I think it was Bruce that initiated it, but a good job by Ambrose on this play.
Well, we were just talking about the interceptions and not the turnovers, and right here, Ashley Ambrose, he's hurting right now thinking about this. It's in his hands. This is an interception.
Good job.
The old
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to hear it. You can just see the head goes up, the arms go out.
Bruce has come on with a better second half. 3 wide receivers in the game. Faulk carries, slid through the hole and spins across the 40. And looks like he's got enough for a first down.
Watch the shoulders and watch them stay square as he comes through the hole. They're this way. His legs are moving, but his shoulders are square. Legs are moving, shoulders square until he gets turned around. And he's like a downhill skier, downhill racer. The shoulders are always downhill. Your legs are going this way, that way, but your shoulders are downhill.
Strong second half. They bring out the chains. I thought he got enough for the first down. Let's see.
You're 1 for 1 thus far in the day.
1 for 2. Yeah, they changed the spot on me.
They did, didn't they? Huh? They did.
13 carries, 68 yards for Marshall Faulk, who's up near 900 on the season. Came in 5th in the NFC in rushing.
What a steal. What a steal. A 2nd and 5th round pick is all it costs for this guy. Indy got themselves in a situation where they virtually had to unload him. You know, they drafted Edgerrin James, that they had to move him. And credit the Rams organization, John Shaw and Dick Vermeil, for saying, hey, we're going to sign him to a new contract because that's what he's worth. He was underpaid, and this is a big-time player. He can give us a big-time spark, and he has.
3rd and half a yard. Faulk, and he got the push for the first down. With 7:50 remaining, the clock running, all Mike Ditka can do is look on. It's been a tough go for the Saints.
Fred Weary's down.
And yet another injury. Here's Ricky Williams on the sideline, unable to play today. Weary goes off slowly, but under his own power. That's a good sign. Tyrone Drakeford comes back on the field. First down, Rams at the Saints' 38-yard line. Warner looks things over. And the toss to Marshall Faulk. Plenty of room. Faulk down at the 20-yard line. Picks up 18 on the play. Willie Clay finally took him down. What a beautiful play this is.
Oh, this is the old flip 90. Look, they have the 2 tight ends over on this side, 2 backs. It looks like it's going to be a power run game this way. But watch, fullback goes here with the fake handoff and then just flip it out the back door. Linebacker sealed, see pace, and it's nothing but green down here. Isaac Bruce blocking downfield. That's a nice play. I see a lot of teams trying to run this play around the NFL. I saw Tampa Bay do it, Washington try it, but the Rams really have the personnel. They do it nicely.
2 tight ends in there. Jeff Robinson shifted. Bruce goes in motion. First down at the 21. Warner throwing for the end zone, wide open. Touchdown to Torrey Holt, his 2nd of the game. Brenda Warner loves it. The packed house here in the Dome love it. The 29th touchdown pass of the season for Kurt Warner.
He's unbelievable. He's getting up into a class. If he gets 30 today, one more today, he'll be there. He'll reach 30 in a season faster than any quarterback that's ever played the game.
I think he tied Marino. 11 games.
That's still pretty darn good.
You know
You're in some good company.
Betcha. Rams have broken it open here in the second half with 3 touchdowns. Another beautiful drive. Kurt Warner on the money with a 20-yard touchdown pass to Torrey Holt.
Here's Bruce. This is a cover 2. You can tell by the angle that Willie Clay is taking here. But what happens is he sees the tight end come right here, and he stops for 1 second. That 1 second is enough for Bruce to get in the end zone. Torrey Holt.
Jeff Wilkins on the kickoff. Filliard comes up to the 8-yard line to get it. Ran into his own man. Flag comes flying in as Filliard is down around the 32-yard line. Kurt Warner going up and down the line.
He knows exactly where to go, too.
To his offensive lineman. Holding on the Saints.
Holding 52 on the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Vincent Smith, the man called for the holding. 2 touchdown passes today for Kurt Warner. What we were talking about?
30 touchdowns in a season. Marino got there in 11 games in 1984. This is the 11th game. He's at 29 right now. And look at the names: Favre, Young, Montana, Marino, and Warner. Kurt Warner.
He's been the savior. They paid big money to Trent Green, signed him as a free agent, and he got hurt in preseason, tore up his knee. He's rehabbing. He will be back next season. But this man has saved the season for the St. Louis Rams. Hobert completes to Andre Hastings. He's hit hard up at the 25-yard line. Well, he's got to be an inspiration for a lot of quarterbacks that have bounced around and hung in there and hung on. He's been rejected. He went to camp with Green Bay. They turned him down.
You see that stubble he has on his face? He always has that growth on his face.
Lamar Smith cuts it back. Hobert, he blocked. He blocked Charlie Clemens, and Lamar Smith winds up with a gain up to the 34-yard line.
You see the stubble? He has the growth. It looks like that G.I. Joe with lifelike hair. You know, G.I. Joe's in action here, all right? And that's Warner. Now, the wife has been trying to get him to shave forever. Brenda says, look, she's saying shave, shave. She just saw the picture up there. And he says, heck, I have a job where I don't have to shave. I'm not going to. He says, I've always had it ever since I was able to grow it.
Hobert's pass incomplete, intended for Cam Cleveland. The Rams will go to 9-2 after this game. Carolina is at Atlanta tonight, or rather Carolina's home against Atlanta tonight. Should Carolina lose that game, the Rams would win the division. And that's been a long time coming. Wilmont Perry in the backfield now for the Saints. Hobert, too high, intercepted by Charlie Clemens. Taking it back, hands it off to Dexter McClean, but he goes out of bounds.
Hobert's last 2 passes have been errant. He's been looking at his hand and maybe got dinged a little bit. But in this 4th quarter, when he's been throwing the ball, they've been bad passes. The one before this was bad, and this one, he goes right to the linebacker. He overthrows Kennison. And there's Charlie Clemens.
Well, Dick Vermeil wasn't smiling in the first half. He's got reason to smile here in the second. The defense has gotten 2 takeaways, 2 interceptions. The offense has put 21 points on the board here in the second half. And the Rams are playing the way their coach expects them to play.
Well, this is the 7th game out of the 11 games that they've been over 30 points. This offense is explosive. It's well coached by Mike Mark.
Brought down at the 22 is Marshall Faulk, who is up. There's Mike Mark.
Hey, he's going to have a lot of people looking for him after the season. I don't know when his contract goes. I don't know all those things. But this guy, what he has done with this Rams offense is really amazing. We haven't really got into talking about all the personnel changes they make in between every single play. But he mixes and matches personnel, does shifts and motions about as good as I've seen anybody do it in the league. And it also helps when you have the personnel he has making those plays.
The toss to Faulk, led by Holcombe. He cuts it back inside. Still going. Down to the 17-yard line and close to a first down. Sammy Knight finally brought him down. When the Rams clinch the division, it would be the Rams' first division title since 1985. It'll be their first playoff berth since 1989. For the city of St. Louis, it'll be the first division title since 1975 when the Cardinals were here, and the first playoff berth for a St. Louis team since 1982. That's a long time coming.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and as I said earlier, credit Dick Vermeil for what he went through this offseason. You know, things coming out of St. Louis about this organization and himself and the team at the end of last season weren't positive at all.
And Marshall Faulk goes over 100 yards with that carry. Go back to 1975 when Don Coryell was the coach of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Jim Hart.
Jim Hart was the quarterback. Mel Gray was his favorite receiver. Jackie Smith, the tight end, became a Hall of Famer. Dan Deerdorf, Hall of Fame tackle. Those were the glory days, and there was Terry Metcalf as well. The glory days in St. Louis when the Cardinals were strong. They haven't seen those days until this year. 5 100-yard rushing games for Marshall Faulk. He's gone out of the game.
Wasn't Jim Hannafin the offensive line coach then?
Was he?
Yeah, I believe he was.
Wow. It's a long time for him, too, huh?
He went on after that. I guess by the time 80s came around, he was the head coach of the Cardinals. Yeah, he was with Dan Deerdorf and Conrad Dobler. And there's Hanny.
He's been around for a long, long time. Kurt Warner goes to the sideline to the cheers of the crowd.
And out come the starting offensive linemen. Here comes Freddie Miller. Adam Timmerman comes out. See if they go sit down in their spots.
Paul Justin has come in. At quarterback, Warner was 15 for 27, 213 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's James Hodgins carrying. And Phil Clark seeing his first action. A University of Pittsburgh linebacker made the tackle. Flags have gone down as there's activity after the play. Well, same as last week for Mike Ditka and the Saints. I mean, they hung in there. Last week, they outplayed Jacksonville in the first half. They were great. They were even at halftime, 17-17. But then Jacksonville was too good. Had too much for them in the second half. Same thing has happened here today.
If the Saints could have played all season long, just the first half, they'd have one heck of a record.
Number 97, half the distance to the goal, first down.
It's Leroy Glover called on the personal foul.
But think about all the meltdowns for the Saints that have occurred in the fourth quarter all season long. They've lost 5 games at least in the second half this season.
This one, I think, Bill, is less a meltdown than it is they're just outmanned.
Yeah. Yeah, they had some little bit of secondary problems. They had the injury, and they had to shuffle some corners in there, and they were getting picked on a little bit outside. But, yeah, you're right. The offensive line picked up the protection, bought Warner time, and once Warner had time in the second half, that's when the offense for the Rams began to roll.
Ryan Tucker is the center. Paul Justin the quarterback. Robert Holcombe carries to the 3-yard line. We've reached the 2-minute warning. The Rams are 2 minutes away from winning their 9th game of the season. All new Fox Sunday tonight, starting at 7, 6 Central. Hodgins to the 1-yard line. A rookie out of San Jose State, an undrafted free agent. James Hodgins, 5'11", 230 pounds. Getting a chance here with a game put away. Kurt Warner making a run. Had some very impressive records for the Rams.
Making a run. That's an all-out attack on it. Look at the numbers for Warner. This is just after 11 games. This is the Rams record for the season.
He's right there. Hodgins hit by Clark, falls into the end zone for the touchdown, his first in the NFL. Keep that ball. Well, the Rams have had a very strong second half. They cleared the bench. Paul Justin seeing some action, and you see the disappointment on the other side. Ricky Williams unable to play today. The Rams are where the Saints want to be. They want to turn things around the same way.
And the Rams, when you talk to them, the players and the coaches, they see themselves last year in watching the Saints this year. They watch the film, they see the guys, and they see themselves. And you talk about pieces to the puzzle. Isaac Bruce was obviously a piece of the puzzle. He was here. They went out and they found a quarterback. They got Marshall Faulk to come in, and now you have something. Yeah, they kind of backed into Kurt Warner. They didn't know how good he was going to be, but still, you have the pieces in place. For New Orleans, they've got one part in the puzzle. They have Ricky Williams. And believe me, folks, I don't think you've seen Ricky Williams yet.
No, he hasn't been 100% healthy.
Not at all. And if they get a top-flight receiver, if they get a quarterback that can handle the things and do the things like a Kurt Warner, make the right decision, make the accurate throws, and then you have all the pieces in place. And Ricky Williams is one part of the puzzle. They need to get a couple other parts there, and they're going to be just like where the Rams are.
1:14 to go. Trent Green, he's out with a knee injury. An interesting dilemma next season for Dick Vermeil when Trent Green is healthy, and Kurt Warner might be the NFL MVP.
That's going to be a dilemma, but that's so far away. They've got a whole nother season coming up here with the playoff.
Villar from the 7. Cuts to the outside and dragged down by Leonard Little. And a late flag is thrown. 1:09 remaining. The Saints will complete 3 straight road games next week when they go to Atlanta. The Rams will be at Carolina and then at New Orleans their next 2 games before returning home to play the Giants and Chicago and wind up the season at Philadelphia.
There's no foul on the play. First down.
They pick up the flag. Ray Agnew goes over. All right.
There's 199. There's another 99. There's 3 99s. And Mrs. 99 gets a little kiss. You know, that's only something a mother or a wife could do, you know? Big sweaty lineman coming out. You kiss, you get a kiss. You got to be a wife or a mother.
Danny Werfel is in at quarterback for the Saints to play the last minute of this game. Throws short to Wilmot Perry. Perry is chased by Mike Morton, number 58. Chased him out of bounds up at the 40-yard line. For the Saints, this will be their 9th loss, and that will guarantee their 6th consecutive losing season. And a huge disappointment for them because they felt they were headed in the right direction. A couple of tough losses early. The injuries to Joe Jackson, as we mentioned in preseason, a terrific defensive end.
The quarterback, Hobert, right off the bat.
Yeah, Hobert got injured in the third game. Werfel steps up, and it was almost intercepted, intended for Cleveland, and it's incomplete.
You look at the Rams. You know, Dick Vermeil went in at halftime, and I think the guys heard a little something from Dick Vermeil. Because
what did he tell Pete Peterson? We got to get our rear ends moving.
Yeah, and they do. And they had to get their heads out of them as well. And they were. They kind of came out here thinking, well, we beat the 49ers. We're on top of the division, the best record in the conference. This is just the Saints. Now, the Saints gave him a battle for a half.
Werfel's throw to Cleveland. He's hit immediately and brought down. Today's game produced by Michael Burks, directed by Andy Kindle. The associate director is Rich Dewey, broadcast associate Tom Yohe, technical producer David Graham. The studio show was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Our thanks to our spotter Gary Lynn and our statistician Emmett McGuire here in the booth. Don't forget, we've got the boys in the studio standing by with our post-game report, scores and highlights. Orlando Pace, boy, he blocked well. The offensive line did a great job in the second half.
They really came together in the second half. Picked up the blitzes, got familiar with the stunts and the things that they were doing. New Orleans.
20-point win, 7 games from 1990 through 98, 7 times this season. Perry is brought down at the Rams' 48-yard line.
You know, the one area of concern that Dick Vermeil is concerned about, he is concerned. He's concerned about his guys down the stretch. He knows, he's been around, that this is when the season starts. Now things really turn. This time of year, it becomes a different haul. And now being the lead dog and not the trail dog like they have been, it's a little bit different when you're out in front of the pack. All those other dogs are nipping at your butt, and the Saints were nipping at their butt the first half. And the lead dog was a little bit slow, and he's getting his tail bit on. But you know what? The sign of a good team is they came out the second half and just took charge again.
And they didn't make mistakes to turn the ball over and give anything easy to the Saints. That was a big factor. Werfel being chased, gets rid of it. It's incomplete. 17 seconds to go. Around the NFC, Washington wins in overtime. They're 7-4. Minnesota beats San Diego. They're 7-4. St. Louis is 9-2. There you see the standings. Detroit 7-4, having won on Thanksgiving Day. Tampa Bay is playing a late game. They are trailing in Seattle. That's just underway. And Dallas is 6-5. So that's what
it's the bye week.
That's what it looks like. Dallas will not play again until a week from Sunday. Or a week from today, I should say. It is Sunday. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. That pass intended for Eddie Kennison was incomplete.
Dallas sure looked good on Thanksgiving.
Yes, they did.
They look good. And when they get Larry Allen back into the mix at the line, they're going to come off and dominate. You know, they opened up the game a little bit. Troy was passing a little bit more than they had.
Georgia Frontiere comes down to the sideline to congratulate her coach.
It's amazing what winning can do. You know, everybody's down on the sidelines. You get the kids down there, the wives, the owners, everybody's down there.
Hey, the Agnew family, and they have reason to smile. A good day for the St. Louis Rams as they defeat the New Orleans Saints 43-12. And the two veteran coaches meet in the center of the field. They'll meet again in New Orleans in 2 weeks for the rematch. For Dick Vermeil, the turnaround continues as the Rams continue their march toward the playoffs and toward clinching the NFC West. They need either a loss by Carolina tonight or one more win next week.
A lot of people want to talk about their schedule and this and that doesn't amount to anything. The bottom line is these guys are playing. They went out in the offseason. They made the commitment in coaching. Dick Vermeil made the commitment. They brought in the players, and these guys are playing.
For Mike Ditka, he's trying to keep his players up. I asked him if he was thinking about next year. He said, no, I'm thinking about winning a game each Sunday. For Bill Maas, this is Sam Rosen. Hope you enjoyed it as the Rams beat the New Orleans Saints 43-12. Stay tuned because the guys are standing by in the studio. JB with Howie, Terry, and Chris will bring you scores and highlights of all the games today. Here in St. Louis, the Rams go 9-2, winning it 43-12.